Okay, now you can
No, you good. I mean, shit.
I'm gonna be touching these with Chavo.
Dame una chela. Bueno, dame una chelita.
You want a chelita?
Yeah, give me the little one.
Let me get a water on the
I
ride.
don't like the small ones.
Nah, bro.
That is a small one compared to these.
No, because last time Byron took some to Naro's place, y era una cosita así.
Yeah, it was a little 8-ouncer.
That's what he said. Va.
Oh.
¿Qué?
Dale.
Waka waka.
Waka, waka.
Yeah.
Tori's gonna be like, I heard you say a joke.
We're back, guys. What episode is this? 4, right? Yeah, 4.
5.
It's been 2 weeks since our last one. They had me working the past week, so worked like a dog and didn't even get fed.
They had you working like Rihanna.
Yeah, dude. So funny story, right?
Why
Well, I
are
guess-
you all giggly, dude? It's like fucking.
Because I don't even know what that means. Like working like a Rihanna. What does
You
that
know,
mean?
like work.
But yeah, so I guess our original guest. I mean, we're still gonna have him, right? But
It's gonna be a good one.
I guess this one's happened out of nowhere. It's
this one's gonna be the better one.
it's
Let's
a-
just say that.
It's a rarity.
Why
for,
don't you just say the best one?
Oh, the best one. There you go.
it's a rarity for all 4 of us to get together as easily, right? Because
It
we
is.
all have our own families, our own kids,
And
Yes.
Cindy lives in Arkansas.
jobs.
I
yeah.
don't live in the state of Texas anymore.
And we don't like each other, so.
Right.
I
so,
mean,
Bye,
but we
y'all.
tolerate each
Bye.
other. Bye.
but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a good one. You know, literally all 4 kids from the same household talking about how different it was for us individually, right?
Yes.
Brothers, not kids.
Well, yeah.
Oh, back then we were kids, though.
And three boys,
So we're-
1 girl.
So we're not brothers. We weren't brothers back then.
I guess now we're not. Back then we were. Now we're not.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we didn't introduce them, right? So this is our sister Cindy. She's the second to oldest one, and then Christian, he's the oldest one.
Yes.
Che, Christian, como si estuviera con la gente, güey.
And then Chago's the third youngest, and then I'm the youngest, right?
Yeah.
But we're not that far apart in age, right? What? I'm 2 years away from you, 2.5 ish.
I'm 1 year away from you.
Oh, yeah?
No,
One year?
not a year, months.
Oh, no, it's a whole
It's a
year.
whole year.
Because I'm the 11th and you're the 29th.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then 4 years apart, right? Well, yeah, for him and I, we're 4 years. And then between Nato and I, we're 4 years.
Damn, your mom was horny.
Yeah, dude.
Es que antes no tenían tele, güey.
I know
Olvídate
some-
la tele, querían experimentar.
Hey, well, remember where they're from? I don't even think they knew about condoms.
Yeah,
No,
You're talking about little Pueblita
No, they
out
don't
there,
even
right?
talk
You know?
about
They-
sex,
exactly.
yeah.
eran las
you know?
bolsas del Oxxo.
Ándale, que decir las bolsas del pan Bimbo.
You know, so that's just, I mean, I guess technology's come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh hell yeah, it has. That's fucking great.
But the cool thing about it is, although we were all in the same household, we all grew up in our own era as far as clothing, music, friendships, relationships, how our parents raised us individually, right? Even though you would think they would raise us the same.
Yeah.
The stigma between a female and a male
Yeah.
in the household was real.
It was.
I mean, to a certain extent.
Well, I mean, tú, güey, pues.
Well, what extent was that?
chisqueabas.
Well-
It's like you said. I mean, I guess being the oldest, it was one of those where they were strict on you because you were like the lead by example. You know?
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to go with
And then
this.
like the youngest. It was
Tell me
like,
how you really feel.
And then it's like
Preach.
the youngest is like, you know, just fucking go through. Like nothing ever happened was there to like no.
You know, yeah.
He's
but
given the most freedom.
It's funny though, right?
Well,
Because
the way I see it is like this: is like you're drilling the hole, right? And you drill, and obviously the first one is the tip.
He's
and
a
it's
home
doing this, and
appliance
the rest one
installer.
just freaking goes like nothing.
Why do you have to use those kind of analogies?
I
Like,
use
we have
power
all-
tools.
But you know, it's funny because our last episode, Charles was like, "Oh, well, you had it the easiest," and I was like, "Well, not really,
He
because
did have it these.
I did not."
I don't. I honestly, I don't think that's. No,
I think I
don't
had
think
the
so.
most
Wait,
rewards,
let Cindy
but I don't think I
speak.
had it the
Yes.
easiest.
I want to
Yes,
hear Cindy because you
I-
had something to say a while ago, and then
Because
Christian.
I agree with that point. I think if anything, Nato did have the most, you know, well, I mean, he had accomplishments, and then in return, mom and dad were like, okay, here you go. But it was a promise and kind of like an agreement between you, you know,
Yeah.
father, mother, and son. But if all honestly, like, I think I would be the one to have more more liberty and privilege because
That's
like
true.
because like there was a lot of friction between Christian and I about why does she get to go out, and there was several times where I can go out and Christian would be asked 1,000 questions before he was allowed to
and I was
go.
already engaged. That's the sad part.
Yes.
Why do you think that is though, right? Because you would have thought they would have been more strict on you being a female,
yes,
right?
Yes. Well,
A lo mejor que se era más puto. güey.
yeah,
Well, the fact that, like she said it, I mean, growing up, it was like, you're supposed to do this, do that, and then whenever you don't do it, and whenever, the perfect example is like, Dad was like, during high school, I was never allowed to go out.
Yeah.
So once Dad's like, fly or whatever, I was like, and me dijo, llega temprano. Oh, I did. I got there like at 6, 7 in the morning, and after that, like, you're cut. Your turn.
Yeah.
So it was like, I mean,
it's different, but I mean, I use mom a lot in the way of trying to break through that barrier of dad, because yes, to y'all's point, dad was always like, oh, she's not gonna have a boyfriend until she's 18.
That
and
machismo.
Yes.
She's married.
So you
Yes.
can't date until you get married.
Pretty much.
That means you can cheat on your husband.
Yeah. But that didn't work out with me. Even the whole, I'll go as far as like our wedding. So I lived with Joe before we technically got married.
Yeah, we
right?
found out.
Yeah, well, yes.
Everybody
If you
found out.
tuned into the last podcast, I'm sure you found out. But we, we did that, and besides that, what he mentioned is, mom and dad wanted to be, okay, we're gonna walk our daughter down the aisle, and
Traditional way.
yeah, and then she's gonna live with her boyfriend or her fiance or husband, whatever. But I didn't do that.
Right.
I did the complete opposite. I moved in with a guy, and then I ended up marrying him afterwards.
I think that's the best way to go about it. You
Nowadays.
stop and think
Well,
about it.
Nowadays, yes, but back then,
was unheard of.
nobody wanted to admit that was an option. But now it became that's what my children do, so I support it, and that's kind of how I felt mom was like. She was more like, no, because at first she was against it.
Right.
What Mexican parent wants to okay that? No, not one.
Right. I mean, I think she adapted easier than dad did.
Exactly. But going back to what I was originally stating is, I use mom a lot. Like, mom, help me convince dad to let me go out. Mom, help me, please, please, please. She was my savior. In
How old were you when? I guess this what happened, because you mentioned you were engaged already, right? So you were what, 27?
I was in high school. I was in high school.
No.
He was already.
Well, when I was engaged, you were already in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like that high school thing too, I was already out of school,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were like 21, 22.
No, not even. I was like 19, 20.
Okay.
And she was like,
I was thinking
she was like a
sophomore,
junior or something.
sophomore,
like that.
junior
Sophomore,
in high
junior,
school.
and she's like, "Can I go out with my friends? Don't be back at midnight." And I would tell mom and dad, "Can I go out? I want you here at 10:30." It's like, so
Yeah, you would. Yeah, I mean,
I was like, man, it's. But
Es que tú eras la chacha de la casa. güey.
that's true.
but I guess I don't think you ever gave him a reason before showing up at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
right?
but,
Like,
I mean, it was one of those where
like you
I-
weren't a troublemaker or
but
anything like.
did-
At least
did
that I
what they asked.
recall.
I mean, I cut the grass. I cleaned their truck.
Yeah, you went above and beyond.
I went above and beyond. They're like, no. I was like,
But
so
why?
But at one point, I was like, forget this. I'm not gonna do it no more.
It's funny because you would have thought they kind of treated you. I'm not calling you a female, right? But they kind of treated you like a female because you were engaged, but yet you still had to ask for permission to go out with your fiance.
It's funny you said. I still remember the story. I was laughing at it with my wife. So we were engaged, and there was a friend of ours threw a party, and the night before.
Before you got married? Or?
No. I mean, no. During that time, the night before we went out, and Dad's like, "Yeah, just get here early." Well, again, I got here early,
You didn't learn the first time.
so
You thought you were older.
so. And mind you, I was like already engaged. I was like, whatever. I mean, I still
you
live
think
with
you're a
parents.
grown man.
But I was supposed to pick up my wife like at 7:30. So again, I got home, cut the yard, and all this.
You knew you wanted to go out because
Everybody
the
knew.
yard,
Everybody
Yeah.
restroom, and he washed the
I mean,
vehicles.
I'm already like dressed up and everything. I get mom and dad are sitting down. So I remember come out the room and like, hey, can I go out?
I remember this.
And dad's like, no.
You're not going nowhere.
I was like, the fuck, like, mom, can you? It's like he already said no. I was like, but mom, come on. So I go back into him like, I'm upset that my my
Your fiance.
fiance at the time is calling me. I was like, I can't go. My dad's not allowing me to. And she's like, whatever. You just don't want to go. You don't want to. I was like, no, I can't go. You gotta understand. Like, no, but you're just lying to me. Boom, she hangs up. So I got to convince my wife or my fiance that, no, this is what happened.
I'm not.
Yeah, so like, I'm not lying. So, you know, it's like that type of stuff, you know? It's like, even as engaged and you're see here just walk out of and it's like,
I mean, 25 years old, right? When
Yeah.
you were old, like, I guess any other culture, you would have 18. You're a grown ass person. You can do whatever you want, right? Like I see those memes where it say, like, oh, let's go out. Like, no, I can't, bro. My mom won't let me. It's like, dude, you're 18. Yeah,
not in this house.
Not in a house. Not in a Mexican house.
No,
not in this
that,
house.
that number does not exist. That means nothing to our parents, and it really didn't.
And even to this day, like, it's their house here. Like, I mean, I think they give us a little bit of leadway. We are allowed to curse, right? And we say certain things, but then dad's still like,
He
But it's
still
like-
gives you the look.
Yeah.
But it's like back in the days, you can never joke with them. You know?
Right.
It's like you either showed respect or there was gonna be things flying your way.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and
mean-
nowadays,
No. The truth is that they always flew your way. I don't think anything ever flew our way.
well, technically yes, but he always snitch you out whenever it was about to go something this way.
Well,
So-
he would throw anyone under the bus.
Pinche Tekashi, güey.
Yes.
The picture
As,
was,
lo- as long as he got the heat off of himself, it didn't matter who went down. And you knew the moment they would call all of us out, you're like, fuck, now don't give us in. That's and then there's no denying it. You know, you couldn't say no, that's not true.
I still-
all right, look,
I
guys.
still
but
denied it.
As I got older, I learned about my mistakes. I'll take things to my grave now. So don't worry. You know, if you guys are doing something that nobody should know of, I will keep my mouth shut.
No, we know better
Unless
now.
I'm in trouble. Unless I'm in trouble.
don't do it around here. It's like I don't need you to rat me out. My kids will rat me out. But it's funny you say about like, you know, her using mom. I still remember that because of I've never been the type that like I believe in like yes, I believe in the culture we were raised.
Yeah.
But I believe in that somebody has to break the cycle. You know,
Right.
sometimes it's not the right way you can say. Like for example, her when she started dating. I mean, I knew I was the one who's like, let's go. You know, I'll take her here, there, and then you know come back home. And mom and dad never knew.
But I guess, did you use that to your advantage in
Yes.
a way?
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Sometimes I did.
Yeah, exactly.
But other times
How
I-
often was sometimes?
I mean, it was probably like two times.
two-
But it was
Yeah.
like, hey, you know, you're gonna cover for me type thing because I
No,
cover for
No.
you.
it was
Like,
never like, hey, I'm headed this way. You want to go or let's
Yeah,
go?
he was a good brother. Like, you know, I had no complaints about that because even although looking back at it now, I was like, what was wrong with me? Why would I want to go clubbing with my brother? That makes no sense.
And me too. It's like, why the hell would I take my sister? It was like, it didn't make sense. But it was like, but even before the clubbing situation, it's like the people that we used to hang around with, you know, we were all involved in a little circle. So it's like, hey, I'm going over here. You want to go?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's go. So I was like, you know, I'll take her because I mean, at one point I was like, you know, I'm gonna have a daughter.
Or did you just feel sorry for her?
No, I mean, I've always thought about it.
was
It's
it
like,
one of those that you probably felt like, well, I don't want her to feel the way I feel because of the way that my parents are treating me type thing.
You can say that. It's one of those.
You know, it's like, you know,
But it was
breaking
like,
the
well,
barrier.
you never
right?
took it to the
Yeah.
bar,
So-
asshole.
Yeah, we did. When we got Arena's cousin drunk.
Yeah, you're right,
So-
right.
Which that name will remain anonymous, right?
I mean, I don't care.
I don't know who that is anyway. So
Wasn't it him and some other dude too?
Yeah.
But they were usually drinking like beer y todo ese pedo.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, I guess. See, I
Can you
didn't. I
beer
never
me,
knew.
please?
I guess obviously as a girl, you felt like you had to hide it, right? Because you couldn't let dad find out. And I know
Cindy,
mom knew
beer
about
me.
things.
oh, sorry.
I knew mom
I'm
knew
being
about it.
spoken to right now.
And mom was like, you know, for mom to lie to dad about things like this, you know.
Well,
it's
I
like-
mean, okay, wait. Mom did not lie
Nah,
to dad
mom
though.
didn't-
Mom
mom didn't lie.
Mom was just mom. Okay, mom's really good with words. Y'all know that. She will eat you up if you guys don't know my mom. And you come in here so innocent, she will eat you up. Y'all know that.
Well, yeah,
She's just
yeah.
really good with words. She
calls
sells
you-
it really
she
well.
calls you out even when it brings somebody up from your past, even though if you're married. So.
But think about it this way too. Now being married and you know now having a child.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not a girl. You know you're thinking about
Careful
what
what
you
you
wish
wish
for.
you know, you're thinking about, okay, as I'm raising this child, I'm sure that mom had to put out her away. You know, she had to, like, she's talking to dad here, but then, you know, as the night goes on, like, she still had to take care of things. Like, in order for me to
I don't
be
wanna
able
know
to,
what
no,
they did.
but it's true. Like, you know, that you'll do anything for your kids at that point.
but I believe that mom has, unless I got the wrong picture, but I don't believe mom was never like that. Mom was like, if you did something, you're gonna fall on your own. I'm not gonna cover for you because there's consequences.
Yeah, I remember her guiding us. She would guide
one
us.
thing's like
Yes.
to guide you, and one thing's like to cover for you.
Right.
Well, she never covered for me.
No, but neither,
she was
neither
always-
for me. I mean, she was always like,
Well, shit, we
You
were
were-
losers, dude. We never went out.
Y'all never did.
Now I know why I drink this. There's like really no taste.
Yeah,
to it.
no, dude.
It's like your fruit water. Add a little bit of fruit and you're good.
It's called infused.
Oh, sorry.
damn.
But again, y'all. Well, I mean, it was different. You guys.
I think we grew up different. That's why, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I think there was a better connection between both of y'all because you're closer to age.
Yeah.
And
Well-
there was better because
But we're closer to age.
Yes, we are. That's what I was gonna say. I
We're
mean,
closer. We're,
But I think
we're
taste-
a year apart.
well, I guess just being like the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh,
So it's like with
They
her,
got to
I mean,
do things first before
yeah.
we got to do
So with
type
her, it's
things,
like we used to pretty much tell each other everything, which is
We
a
did.
good thing and a bad thing. you
yeah.
know? So, I mean, trust me.
We confided in a lot of stuff, especially because I couldn't come running to you. You'd be like, what?
You know, it's funny
this is
though.
eye opening.
Yeah, I never knew this because I mean, I remember growing up, I was always closer to you.
Yeah.
So and I'm not getting hurt or anything, but for you to say, I can't come close to you, right?
Like,
But it's true though,
I
because
couldn't
like,
come to you and say,
because I
my
was still a
boyfriend
fucking
broke up
kid,
with
right?
me.
Exactly. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
find another one.
exactly.
Like, that's probably what I would have said.
Exactly.
Type shit.
Or you would have been too busy, like in cartoons, And
Yeah, or soccer,
yeah.
whatever.
So it's.
She said cartoons. bro.
I don't think I ever watched. Actually, I watched Rocket Power.
So I just.
That was the baddest cartoon.
Power Rangers too.
So I just, in that sense, yeah, like we connected. We talked to each other a little bit more
Well, that's
on that.
true. I mean, I think y'all were, I guess, older, so y'all got to relationships first before we
Yes.
did. I mean, I don't know. I still don't know. Whenever Paula asked me, she was like, "Did y'all ever have a girlfriend in high school or middle school?" I was like, "You know what? I don't
No.
know."
No, he didn't. Lefty
Why?
and Righty were right there for him.
Pamela Henderson.
But same thing. Like once I started dating, I was like,
Give a little beat.
I never asked. I
Yeah.
just kind of one of those I figured out because I need to ask him. Like, we're
Yeah.
close, right? But it was like, I never saw him with a girlfriend, so why would I ask him? Like, no offense, but like, if I would have
None
gone to
taken.
him,
Yeah.
if I would have gone to him, he probably had the same reaction if you would have gone to me. Where he's
Yeah.
like, go find another one.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you crying for a
What's
female,
the big
right?
deal? Yes. I
And
agree.
as a man, you're not supposed to cry for a female.
Yes, you're not. But the truth is, all men cry for females.
No, I'll cry for
Yes.
my daughter.
Nah, she's still a female. You just proved my point.
Not my wife, my daughters.
Nah,
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
So, I just, I think that we grow up differently, and I don't know. It's like in a weird sense. Although we know each other and we
don't know each other.
It's
but
like
we know each other in a sense like we know who we are, but we don't know of each
I
other
mean,
to
we
that
know
point.
we know each other from the past.
Not as
we,
adults.
From we all lived together.
Yeah.
And after we all went our separate ways, it's like you only hang on to what was there back then, not now. Because now everything's different. You have kids, family. You have kids, family.
Yeah.
Well, we all have kids now, and it's like every one of us is doing different things.
Right.
So
I mean, it's kind of like Dad would always say, right? He's like, I'm raising you guys in my household. How you guys act in my household, I know. As soon as you step outside that door, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing.
and then he would add
yeah, but you
on.
still find out.
So he would add on to that.
No
He's
te
like,
preocupes
I'm
por
not-
mí,
ajá.
preocúpate de la gente.
Sí, porque la gente me conoce. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that was heavy on me. I was
The
like,
crazy part is that it was true.
I never.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I thought it was just one of those bluffing things where they're like just
No.
trying to scare you. But I found out it the hard way, because I went out and then he's like, "I heard you when." No, he asked me. He's like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "Out." I was like, "Okay, what'd you do?" I was like, "Just drank a bit and that's it. Came back home." Are you sure? Like, yeah.
Damn.
He's like, "Next time, be careful who you're hanging out with, because I know everything." I was like. And I was like, "Give me names." He's like, "I don't need you, but I can
You
tell you."
are
what.
so
No, but he's
challenging.
like,
I can tell you weren't at the bar.
no, he's like, "I can tell you what you did, and what time you left that place, and who you left with." I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "All right."
You know what's trippy though is that Dad always says, if you're gonna do something, do it where nobody sees you, right?
And
I
do
agree
it
with that.
alone.
And yes.
Well, and I learned,
Yes,
I
you
learned
beat
it the
me
hard
to
way
it.
too.
Yeah, but
So-
it's funny because he tells you one thing, but yet in reality, he's like, subtly telling you, well, you fucked up because you let people find out what you were doing type thing.
And I'll tell you this one. I went with our cousin Eddie when he
Yeah.
we went to College Station to party. So it was like all the guys, and we were out there partying. So
Fucking sausage fest.
well, it was one going up there. But
Yeah.
so once we're doing it, whatever, we come back home. He asked me to do something. Like, nah, dude, I need to do it. He's like, well, I'm gonna tell your girl what you did over there. I was like, oh, and then I was like, I was paranoid,
Yeah.
so I talked to Dad, and he's like, that's why I tell you, do things on your own.
Pero en español,
Yeah.
¿cómo te dijo en español?
No seas pendejo. That's it.
Yeah.
Sigue siendo pendejo.
You know, it's funny because they would tell you subtle words, but out of those subtle words, you're supposed to learn the message.
But you don't, yeah, exactly. You don't comprehend it until you're in that situation. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's what that means. That's exactly. So they're really good with the words. And then that's Dad, but Mom is really direct. She's very direct. She'll call it like it
She
is.
has no feelings.
So the first time, and this is the first and last time I ever said, I don't know how to do it. Right? And then, so what I said to her, I don't know, I can't remember, she asked me to do something. And I said, okay. And I asked her, I said, well, I told her, I said, I don't know how to do it. And so she said, well, I didn't teach you to have sex, but you figured that out, didn't you?
Ooh, Danny,
Yeah.
preach.
After that,
Como dicen,
to
Joe,
that,
facts.
till this day, I have yet to ask or tell her I don't know. And not
that's
only
good
with
though,
her,
you know what?
not only with
Yeah.
her, but with everyone, everything and anything. I'm like, you know what? Nobody taught me how to do certain things. I learned it. Let me learn this.
That's good though, right? Because
Yes.
like I said last episode, I hate when kids say I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't tell me.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't teach you how to work an iPad.
Yeah.
But you figure you know how to work it better than I can,
Yep.
right? And these kids nowadays, they're ahead of their age, dude.
They'll challenge you. You saw it earlier.
Yeah,
with
you know.
my little one. What you do?
she
said,
their
"I know."
attitude. She said, "We're about to record." I know. Like, and she's only 4. You know. it's
Wait,
like-
wait. What did she tell you though? Because you told her you have to leave. And what did she tell you?
Oh, because I like go because we're about to record. She's like, I don't want to. I was like, I'm gonna give you the 3 before. So she waited till like at 2.5, and then she's like, fine. But she moved over there with.
Yeah.
And then I was like, again, and right, she waited
Yeah.
again till 3. Once she saw me move, she's like,
Bye.
but she still gave me that look.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I guess how was it different for you whenever you wanted to start going out? Like, how did you approach that?
Like, how did you figure out you weren't gay and you like women?
I saw your butt and I didn't like it.
That's one hairy ass.
By the way, if
dude.
y'all hear voices in the back, there's like a second conversation going in the kitchen. No,
So-
it's a kitchen?
Yeah,
Yes, that is a
In the
kitchen.
kitchen.
So, I mean, what do you mean figure out when to go
Like-
out? Well, my friends started going out, so it was like,
But I guess at any point were you scared to ask mom and dad, like, Mom, Dad, can I go out to the club?
I think
You
you're
know,
always
or-
gonna
I mean,
be scared.
to the club, no, because I didn't start doing that till after high school. But like to go out, I was kind of like hesitant because I was like, man, they're gonna say no. So that's why I did all the chores and everything.
Yeah.
So I would give them a reason not to say no. But sometimes that backfired. It's like
Well, I mean, I remember sometimes the issue was money, right? Sometimes like, well, we don't have money for that.
well,
Well, I mean, I think at that point, if you're gonna go out, it's because you have money.
most of the things that like when I was in high school going out was meant. Remember we lived back there by Gessner and
Spring Branch area.
and
Long
Westview.
Point, yeah.
And
Parks on Westview.
our going out was like let's go to Oshman's to shoot.
Yeah,
basketball.
hoops right there.
Hoops.
Yeah,
I mean,
cross
that-
I-10. Yeah.
well, that's
Where they
that's
had
what
the
going
court
out.
on there,
Yeah,
yeah.
Or going out was going across the
Damn,
street to
I'll
Stop
stop and go hot
and buy hot
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Talk
with
about
the-
old school, huh?
Yeah, buying hot Cheetos with the freaking big old Powerade.
Yeah,
you know,
with
And then
truchas.
we'd be like dumbasses. They opened the back, smell it, and then that was the ritual.
That was,
right?
yeah, I mean, that was our childhood right there.
we would like literally go around finding pennies. I mean, we bought a bag of chips and a Coke for $1.07.
Yeah, I remember those days.
So I mean, we all there
you
was 4 of
knew
us.
you knew the price too.
So we all shared it, and so I mean,
What is the price nowadays for a bag of Cheetos?
She was like
Like,
$139.
yeah, just for a bag.
And that 39 is not including taxes.
yeah. So it's like I mean that's when that was my going out. I mean, obviously once I graduated high school and I started,
Yeah.
that's at the point where I was like, I need to start working so I won't be bugging them for money. and there's a more possibility to let them letting me go out.
Right. Well, it's your money. Spend
It still
however you want.
backfired, so.
Well, yeah, it's funny because they tell you, well, you whenever you make money, you can go and spend it however you want.
They lie.
And then you go buy it and spend whatever you want. You're like, why the fuck you buy that?
Yeah.
¿Por qué compraste esas chingaderas? Like, bro, you told me the day at work I can buy whatever I want. But apparently it's not true.
No, it's just like a little.
They say it, but they don't really mean it.
But once you buy it, you're like, damn. You figure out how expensive it is, and like I busted my ass the whole week just to buy a pair of shoes. Nah. Or even a pair of jeans. You're like,
no, you end up taking care of that better. That's what
Maybe.
happens. Yeah.
Maybe.
You're like, man, I can stretch this out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. They're all holed up, but they still work.
Yeah.
I still got a soul on them.
Soul like the one you have inside, or soul como
I
the
don't
one you
have a
step
soul.
on?
The one you step on.
Damn dark.
So, but I guess, did you ever, see him once he started going out to the clubs, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that, or that's smart, I'm gonna do that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that I ever picked up anything that was to do wrong.
I mean, I never
or
did anything bad.
The only thing he ever did was lie on his time, And I thought I could
this
get away
day.
with that too. So
this
one
day.
time,
You would say compulsive liar.
I mean, till this
What?
day, that has not changed. That has not
I'm not no
changed.
more.
You say compulsive
You're
liar.
such a liar. But that's the only
When was the
thing.
last time I lied to
Right
you?
now,
I said to her,
I'll be there, and then 2 hours later. Oh, okay, mama,
hey, when I
wait.
surprised you, I was like, hey, I'm at your house. No, you're not. I'm at your house. I sent her a picture. Oh, shit, I'll be there in a minute.
But I already knew you were coming. I just didn't know you were gonna get it at the time.
that's
Anyways,
not a surprise.
the only thing so
What
that,
happened to you too?
No.
that he backfired was the fact that your timing was always wrong. You
It's
could
still
never commit
always
to
wrong.
it.
Nah, not as bad as Skeets. I'm better now.
But when I
Except
was,
when you have kids, everything changes.
Yeah.
You're-
but
you're-
before that, I mean, I would always see you would always get in trouble. You were denied.
My famous one was, where you at? I'm off of Bear Creek, and I was up with like I-10 in like downtown area.
Oh, what was the one? I think with Sal, you were gonna go play soccer, right? Shout out to Sal. I don't know if he listens to us or not, but he was in Austin and he was supposed to come play here at Barker Cypress, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, bro, I'll be there in 20 minutes." I mean, fucking Austin's 120 miles away. Ain't,
There's secret expressways that y'all don't know
That's
about.
not 20 minutes, right?
yeah.
You're a good
Ven en
liar.
helicóptero, güey.
So, were you ever scared of asking to go out? As a female, did you ever? I guess, do you ever feel like you didn't have a
Yeah, I mean, it was a
a
little
place to be
intimidating
able to-
because being the only girl in a Mexican household is your perspective in life is different, so you don't know, you start believing that maybe you're not going to date till you're 18, because of how strict your parents are.
Yeah.
You're thinking, well, maybe that is how
She
it's
did
going
it
to be.
behind their backs.
I did do it
Well,
behind
you
the
had
backs.
to,
I
right?
had to,
Yeah.
exactly. And it was unfortunate because I think it would have been
looking at you like, what are you doing with my damn sauce thing?
because you would think that it would be different, but it's just you end up, as you guys have daughters, I would strongly encourage you guys to open up that line of communication that whenever they're ready.
Which
And
is what you
it's
learn,
funny,
right?
it's funny you say
Yeah.
that because
When
now,
is the appropriate time?
I'm honestly I started liking boys since I was already in elementary school, and then I started.
Damn, cochina.
I mean, that's when I realized, that I was
you
like,
sound like my
ooh.
wife. My wife had like 11 boyfriends in elementary school.
I mean, I wasn't that heavy, but you start exploring, right? You're like, ooh, I like him. So, but then when
Oh,
you
he shared his pencil with me.
he's smiling.
Hey, that's what he let me
Hey,
cut.
hey, gum goes a long way. Trust me. I got stories on gum.
And the one's like, he let me cut.
Yeah, exactly.
But and then by the time you want to have a boyfriend. That's the thing. In middle school, you start seeing relationships, and you're like, oh,
body starts developing. And
yes.
shit, so.
Well, mine started earlier than that, but by that
Yeah.
time, you're starting to already look at what your friends have, and you want to have that. So, and then again, being in a Mexican household, that's not an option for you. You're gonna be raised to go to school, and then once you're done with school, you can do whatever you want.
And
That's
like-
the
But
same
you
message
can't.
that
But even then,
everybody
you
got.
can't.
You can't do
Yeah.
whatever you
And
want.
it's like your boyfriend has to come to the house and talk to your mom and dad.
So that's what happened. I understood that was the process, right? And y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all remember this. That backfired. That whenever they tell you that it's a process, they lie.
I
Do
got
not
in
do
trouble for
it.
that too. That's what
Do
messed
not
up.
do it.
Story time.
Here I was, right? And I told my
old were you?
boyfriend. How old was
like
I?
16.
No.
Yeah, because
no. I was like 14.
No, it was,
14.
You were like, no, you're like 15, 16.
Wasn't he older than you?
Yeah, well, me by a year maybe at that.
A year
Yeah.
or two.
Isn't it crazy how y'all know who I'm talking about? But anyways, here I was, and I told him, I was like, yeah, you need to talk to my parents. If you ask him that I can be your, come over and ask them to, for me to date you, they'll be okay. We can go on dates, right?
And I guess to add on to that, his parents were from the same town,
Yes.
right? So
Well,
that's-
same
yes.
traditions,
So you're
same
thinking,
everything.
yes.
Like
But
this,
Yes.
this is slam dunk right here.
No, but
like,
this is where I go. That we were on the same circle.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what I remember. I told you that I was taken because we were on the same circle. Let's go, and it's like kill two birds with one stone.
Right.
So here I am telling him, right, like, hey, you should talk to my parents. Like, you should do it. That way we can go on dates. Right, because that's what I wanted. Like, we can go on movie dates. We can go on whatever dates. Because they're going to know.
we don't have to hide it.
Yes. So here he comes one evening, knocks on the door.
Like a fucking man.
Yes, he feels like a
was
man.
Yeah.
Goes talk
We
to
were all
dad.
here.
I got in trouble.
Right? He asked dad for permission to be my boyfriend. And dad said no. He's like, no. What did he say?
That's like, ¿sabes qué? Yo no voy a decir nada. Tú habla con ella y ella sabe lo que tiene que hacer.
But pretty much dad did not say yes.
That means you got to end it.
Yes.
Yeah. So and it's funny because after that, mom and dad got into it, and I knew about it. I mean, I knew about
Well,
that.
like you said, you were taking her out. So.
Whenever they came to me, I was like, I didn't know anything. I just as clueless as y'all.
I remember
You did
why.
better than that,
Now
right?
I know. I remember why you said the same group.
So,
My bad.
so I mean, I was like, I'm denying this because this is cutting into my going out time. So
Yeah, you threw her under the bus quick.
I pull an arrow. I mean, you're on your own.
But yeah, I mean, well, that was the end of that. Dad said no. Pretty much, dad didn't say yes.
But it's funny that
How are you taking credit for my story? Wait. Anyways, let me tell you my story. So
But,
yeah, so then
I
the
thought
next
you were
thing-
done.
I know.
No,
me too.
There's some
I'm
balance to the
telling
story.
you.
All right, keep on going.
She's preaching right now. Cut.
So dad says no, and then the next day, dude, he dumps me.
Oh.
Like I was devastated. I was like,
Well,
how
I
did-
guess at this
It
point it was
was a
over a
double
phone call,
whammy.
right?
Yes, it was over a phone call at that time, dude. And back then it was like all about the phone calls, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he calls me and he dumps me because there was no hope for us,
Yeah.
right? I was so heartbroken. That was like my first official.
What you
heartbreak.
do?
So you didn't believe
Dude,
it?
I cried. I
believe
cried.
in
I couldn't
Jesus?
believe.
I guess. Did you go to mom?
No, I couldn't go to mom.
Why not?
Because mom doesn't know about my, like, she knew, but she didn't know
she
about my.
cried, we talked. We were like, no. I was
Yeah,
on the
that's where we're
motivator.
like, the
And like,
confiding
no, it's
came
okay,
in.
Don't worry about it. Another one come along, but this time we got to do it a different way.
And another
So
one
you're-
today.
And we're like,
We gotta
approaching-
figure it out
we're
type thing.
approaching it differently. So
Which is great because those are all part of experiences, and it really does build your dating and your
Yeah.
relationship, real life and whatnot. But which was good. I married someone great.
Yeah.
Way
That's
way
good though, but
way better
it's all right.
than that.
I mean, people. I've been getting a lot of feedback. People are like, "Oh, y'all got to bring Joe back. He's pretty cool." He's
Nah,
pretty
did
fun."
you really?
Yeah,
Got feedback
everybody.
like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one of these days,
Joe's real direct.
his perspective is very different,
Yeah,
which is cool. It's different from us.
Well,
I'm about to
okay.
say,
So
you know-
he sees us from the outside in, although he is part of the group, right? But not only that, he's great at describing things for you to the point where even if you haven't been involved with us that long, you catch on and you're like, oh, I feel that, I get that.
Was one of he's real
Blunt.
straightforward too, real blunt.
Yeah,
With you, I mean, it's
his
like I
way
had
of thinking,
conversation with him.
yeah.
He's like, dude, man, the fuck up. This
Yeah,
is not the right way. I
He's
was
not
like,
beating around the bush.
yeah, and it's like, and it kind of makes you think. Like we can all sit here and like Cindy said, talk about it, but he's looking out and he's like, no, this.
But he doesn't do it in an offensive way. He does not do that.
He
in an
knows how
offensive
to.
way.
He knows how to
whatsoever,
get
Yes, yes.
But
And he's seen her since 2008. So how long has that been?
yeah, since I got married.
12
Yeah, 12 years.
How long I've been
How
married?
old were you in 2008?
What time of year? Like pre-July or after July?
After-
No,
Pre-July, I was
pre-July,
17.
pre-July.
I was
17?
17-year-old kid.
You were barely getting pelitos on your dick. What about you?
I was like 20.
So he's 17 and this dude's 20.
How does that happen?
21.
19, 20,
Two-
right?
Aren't y'all
It's
like 4 years?
1920.
Oh, wait,
no,
no.
we're only like a year and a half ish.
Yeah, we're 2 years away.
Two.
I was like,
years.
wait, that's not right because we're only
two and a half
here.
ish. Yeah, so he was 19. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, 'cause that's when he started to drink, right? And then that's when he was asking Joey to
Oh
buy
yeah,
the
yeah.
liquor.
He was your beer runner.
Was.
But yeah, so he has seen us grow up in so many ways, So it's always interesting to get his perspective and things.
Right. So I guess I think we all have our partners now, right? And talking about relationships, it's just
Yes.
like, do you think your relationships helped you develop who you want to marry or your partner, or do you think how you were brought up in the Mexican household developed that?
Okay, well, I will tell you that it was not the way it was brought up because mom would always tell me, and dude, I would never forgive this at all. And I'm still yet to prove her wrong, but I've tried to. She always said, en esta casa como mujer vas a tener que limpiar, vas a tener que cocinar, saber limpiar, saber cocinar, porque vas a casarte con alguien y vas a tener que limpiarles y cocinarles.
Those are the old school values.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
if y'all remember, and this is probably TMI.
If you don't know how to do that, you can't get married.
But the thing with mom, like back then, and again TMI, my mom would be to the point where in her mind,
Already.
serving to my dad is making
Normal.
sure he had a towel and his underwear.
wallet.
Oh shit, that's mine.
Hombre. He had a towel and his underwear in the shower before dad got out.
Yeah.
That was the type of woman that mom was back then. Like, oh, we have to cater. So living in this household,
Well, to add to that-
mom was more like, how you see me is how you're gonna see yourself.
Yeah.
And to add
You
to
know?
that, to add to the whole towel, if you remember back in days, when dad was getting out the shower, you said mom had to have the towel. Whenever he was coming to sit down to eat, that food was barely getting off the pot.
It had
Like
to
it
be,
still
like,
had to be hot.
warm,
And, you know, and,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
and nobody would have to make no noise, nothing, you know, and we would all just be sitting down and eating, and we didn't talk about anything.
No.
At all.
There
We
was
were
no
just
conversation
eating,
at all.
conversation, you
Yeah.
know? So like, I mean, go ahead. I mean, I just wanted to add that. To
Yeah,
what
so
you were saying.
but that was what the thing. Like I dreaded living in here while I was a teenager because I had to do y'all's laundry. It didn't matter whose laundry it was.
Not mine.
But
Not mine.
Well, he's always been particular, so
Yeah, I'm
I had to do guys'
Yeah.
laundry, and
Yeah.
it was not mine. And then I had to clean y'all's restroom. And living in a household with freaking men
that's-
who
that's
do
a
not
lie.
aim. No, wait.
that's a
No,
lie.
that's not a lie.
'Cause I wanted to
No,
go
I
out,
will
so I
call-
cleaned everything.
I will
You know,
bring mom into this podcast.
I was trying to
so
go
she
out,
can
so
confirm.
I was trying to
no,
clean,
no,
you know,
no, no, no. So living in this household with men only, and
just making
I'm
that
sorry,
up.
men do not aim. They do not aim right all the time.
True story.
Yes.
We're just
My
trying to
wife,
get-
you know,
we're trying to
we had Mateo's little birthday thing, right?
Yeah.
And, as soon as we started cleaning, my wife was like, "Damn, none of your family knows how to aim."
Dude, it's true.
Good thing I didn't use the restroom.
It's true. But being raised in that, yeah, I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this shit. So I would fight with mom.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I would have things like
Why do I have to do this?
Yes,
Type thing.
yes.
Why do you do
Yes.
it? Did you ever ask her why did she do it?
no, I never asked her.
You should.
That's a good
Find
question.
out.
That's
You know,
a good
it's
question.
yeah. You know, because when we talked in our previous episode about how they came here and whatnot, we started talking to them about it, and it's interesting to get their insight. You know, their way of thinking is different from ours because
Clearly.
the way they were raised, right?
Yeah.
Like with mom, the way she was raised and her way of thinking to me is like it's been for the better.
Yeah.
The way she thinks now is like completely different from the way she thought back then.
Yeah.
Because now she's more like leaning into
She's a
like,
lot more open.
Well, she's more open, but she's more leaning into like, you know, the girls are not going to be catering to men.
No.
You know-
I mean, but I wish it would have been like that
No,
years
yeah,
ago.
but I'm saying, but now that's how it is, you know.
Well,
it's-
that's what I remember. We're
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
generation.
Yes.
right?
So living in that household, dude, it was tough. So I used to tell mom, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna get a job so I can hire someone who could clean for me and I can hire someone who can cook for me.
Don't get
Did
mad.
And then no, that's the anger I have right there, right?
Let it out.
I know.
Let people know.
So then she would tell me
A lot of females are gonna be like, "Yes, girl.
Yes,
bitch. Yes."
So
While they're
then
racing their fucking drink to you.
They're gonna tell Johnny to bring Joey and Cindy back.
so then mom would tell me that, and dude, my goal has always been to prove her wrong. You know, because she said, whatever man you're gonna marry, they're gonna want you to cook for them. You're gonna have to clean for them, no matter who it is. I will tell you, ladies, I married a great husband because he helps me.
Yeah.
He's not. Don't cook. You know, there's times that I get home after him. So by the time I get home, there's a fresh cooked meal. There's times that I don't get to laundry. Guess what? He's already doing a load. I've been very blessed, but
Dude, that's your sister.
but we knew that from the get go. You know, part of the communication that we established from the beginning was that that's what I was looking for, and that's what he was willing to commit with.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, so living in that household, it was tough, and then living with 3 guys, it was tough because I always felt like y'all had it easy. Yes. The worst thing you had to do.
In regards to what?
The worst thing you had to you just had to go and cut the grass.
You go cut the grass.
I cut grass, so that's how I know. Like that ain't diddly spot.
One thing is cutting the grass.
Oh,
One thing
okay.
is doing the edging and the weeding.
All right, let me tell you.
But you gotta do it straight.
Hold on. You live in a household with 3 penises that never aim right in the toilet.
That sounds like a Playboy
That-
man.
No. Would you
Sounds
rather
like a
go
foursome.
and mow the lawn, or would you
Okay,
rather go clean
if you
piss
wanna, if you
stains?
want to go that route, okay. You said do that. I did that
No, you
when
didn't.
y'all were kids. I used to go with mom. Wake up early in the morning, go to the washateria, wash everybody's clothes,
That's what I had to do
Bullshit.
too.
Yeah, that's how
fold
old we are.
everybody's
Yes.
clothes.
That's how old we are, guys.
And I would do it. I did that. I didn't have a choice. I had to. Y'all would stay home and sleep.
No,
we had to go up there.
No, we
After
would
a
not.
while, once we got to a certain
Yes.
age, we went.
Yeah,
But
but before that, it
when
was
we
just
were
me.
little, it was
it was
him.
just me. So I went through all that. I was cleaning the restrooms. I was mopping. I never complained, and here you are complaining.
Well, you should have.
You fucked up.
You should ask for equality, man.
For real.
I think you would have been like the person
Es
with
que no
the
tenía
head of the
papers.
movie.
No, but I mean, regardless, besides that, it always felt like guys always had like the upper hand. So, okay, Dad, sí, tú ve y ve y conquístala y tráetela.
Dale sus apretones.
Yeah, dale sus apretones, right? I would always say that.
For those of you that don't know what that means, it's give her every little strokes.
So then here I am, right? I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, what about me? What is he gonna tell me, right? Nothing. Not even a like, no tengas novio, this and that. It got better when I went to college. I'll tell you that much because one time I was dating someone and Dad said, "Si no quieres estar con él, déjalo. No, tú no lo necesitas." Clearly, he was probably saying that because he's like, "I want my daughter back here, right? I
You
don't
think
want."
that? You think so? Or you think he kind of started seeing your potential? Like, damn, my daughter's going to school. She's making her own
Maybe.
life, making her own decisions. Type.
You know,
thing.
I've never thought about it that way. Maybe.
Because our
Maybe.
parents never told us these things, right?
But
But
they
Yeah.
never showed us any affection.
right,
It's always tough
Well,
love.
right.
And especially, I mean,
I got affection from Dad.
well, Dad.
Well, yeah,
different.
Yeah.
and then
Only
you.
girl.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no,
Yeah.
it's different. But it's funny you bring that as a point. I remember, when she was over there. in San
Chago di
Antonio,
algo, güey. Estás bien callado.
And
Just chiming in when I have to.
and she was going through her rough times, and it goes back to where my way.
Was this every month?
I was about to ask, what are my rough times?
Right? I was like,
So I was like, you do what you have to do at the end of the day. If mom and dad are gonna back you up, whatever, we'll find a way to do it.
By we, you meant like
Yeah,
y'all
well,
two, right? Because
us
y'all
two,
were
y'all
close
two,
at
y'all
that
I think
two.
point.
that was before high school, though.
No, that was when you were over there.
No, I was here and
No.
he was already over there. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
No. I was still living here, but he was already
I'm not gonna
gone.
lie, though, this is pretty badass to know that y'all had that relationship back
So,
then.
No, like we
No,
really
But
like
yeah,
okay.
The
It came to
the
the
best part though is seeing y'all connect on it again. Though I'm not gonna lie, that's an emotional moment right there,
It came to
guys.
the point where she was going through that, and I was like, you know what,
That's the cool thing about
and
this.
it's like, you know what, and I said it like this, it's screw mom and dad. You do what you have to do. If something comes out of this, I'll be there for you. You do.
And that's right.
Something
You've
come
always
out of
been,
this
you've
like
always
a
been that
baby,
brother.
or-
You've always been that brother.
something come out of this like a baby or
Well, we were afraid of that. Seriously, that's what
Yeah.
it was. So it's like, and I was like, just do it. At the end of the day, you're not here to please mom and dad. You're here to do something
Make
for
your
yourself.
life.
Christian was always, I don't know, like, so although you were a very encouraging person with that, like, fuck the odds, you changed away from that. I don't know why.
What do you mean?
I don't think he changed away from that. He's still. He's just one of those. He's hard to reach, and once you reach him and you tell him your problems, he'll tell you.
It's the thing about it is like I'm in like
Everybody's in their own
nowadays
world.
it's like
Yeah.
nowadays, and I'll tell you my life is like between my business and my family is like it's
If y'all need home appliances, hit on my brother. What is it, Salgado homostallion?
No, I can't give it out. It's against my.
Well, yeah. If y'all ever need home
What kind of
appliances,
business does
y'all
Knowledge promote?
tag me, whatever,
Tag me.
us, and
Comment me on it.
we'll redirect your call, and it won't be overseas.
But it's funny because, like, como te digo, it's
Hey, that's how you know. That's how you know you're getting quality service right there.
I'll be in Monterrey.
Yeah, you'll get some proper English and Spanish.
But yeah, no, like he supported me in that way. When he does that, I'm sure with everybody else.
That's where I go. Where to me, my mentality with my daughters is, I'm not gonna say don't date, but tell me when you're gonna start dating. Tell me, Dad, this is my boyfriend. Go for it. I'm not gonna say go.
But
go.
So what if you don't like the boyfriend? How's that gonna
That's
work?
a great question.
But I've seen, and yeah, I go. Yeah, good question. What I've seen is whenever you do that as a father, it's like you push him more into go that route with that boyfriend.
yeah,
So to me, I'd rather be like, you know what? Go for it. Have a boyfriend. Experience. You're gonna get, but I'll be straight up blunt with them. You're gonna get your heart broken, but I'm.
But
here for
you should be like that. You know, when you don't see that, that's probably a good fit. Be like, you don't need him.
No, but I'm saying
Because those are really, believe it or not.
I guess, and that's for a girl, right? We have boys as well. How would you do it for a boy? Would you treat it any different because he's a boy?
No, I would tell him the same thing. You don't need her. You know,
To me,
because
brutal,
But how did you learn? How did personally, individually, how did y'all learn about heartbroken and he's not the one for you?
I mean, you
type
go
shit?
through it, but this is what I'm going to say is that although you go through it, knowing that in the back of your head that because somehow you still look for some sort of support. It doesn't matter from who.
No
but
doubt.
at that point, when Dad told me that, I was like, oh, you know what? It's okay. I don't need him. And so then Mom started calling me other stuff at that time, right?
What did she call you?
We-
Let it out. Yeah, you were preaching earlier, homegirl. Let it out now.
Air it out.
Let it out.
No, because I did things differently. You know, when I
Because
met my
you shouldn't-
husband.
a woman shouldn't be doing those type of things.
Yeah,
according
so when
to
I
mom,
met,
right?
so I like to explore. You know, I wanted to know what it was out there.
you were sexually.
Eras pito loco. No,
No, pito loca, noche loca.
panocha loca.
There you go. You know, but I did.
Calenturienta.
Mom,
Asaltante el pito ajeno.
although Mom's famous words, and y'all
motosierra,
know.
¿no?
Y'all know what she said. She said, el sexo nunca es malo. Es muy bueno. Pero siempre y cuando sepas con quién y que te protejas. Right? She would always say that. Maybe not to you.
So if I prayed to Jesus before, was I protected or?
I'm,
And that was the closest you got to a sex
Nowadays,
talk.
protection is a face
yes,
mask.
that's the closest that you got to sex talk. Yeah.
Or they say don't kiss or touch.
So I started doing things differently, right? I was dating someone else before I met my husband, and then that was not working out. And so I finally met Joe. You have this connection, you know. So a friend of Dad said to me, you know, you just feel it. Vas a sentir algo en tu corazón, y eso es como vas a saber
That's
que.
a lie.
No. That's exactly what I
was
said.
this friend a female or a
Female,
male?
yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it was Eva. Eva
Okay.
told me, because she used to
Shout
say,
out to Eva. I think Rafa
Saludos
listens
a
to
Eva y
us.
Rafa.
So.
You know, but she used to tell me,
Actually, I need to go pay a bet.
she used to tell me, vas a sentir algo muy bonito en tu corazón, es cuando vas a saber que esa persona es tu persona. Le dije, esas cosas de novelas, esas cosas no existen,
She
right?
can play some mama.
I know. So she's like, vas a ver, right? I meet Joe. Dude, we meet in our job, and so we meet, and all he does is sticks his hand out. He's like, hi, my name is Jose Garcia. You know, deep ass voice, and
Puerto Rican,
really tall. And I'm
shit.
like, man, this
You're
guy.
gonna tell ropes. Come on.
This guy's really like polite, and then he's brown.
Direct.
You know, I like brown guys. And then he's tall. And he's
Brown
really
lives
firm.
matter.
What?
Brown lives matter.
There you go. Brown lives matter. So then I was like, this is it. Like I felt the zing, right? I was like, oh, he's the one, right? But
Hotel
but I know, right? you know. So then, right? But at that time, I was dating.
Yeah.
I can tell you have children now.
Yeah.
I'm birthing on Mickey Mouse.
Okay, you'll be there.
So I was seeing someone else at the time. So I came home and I'm really excited to tell Mom, conocí a alguien y creo que
I
esa
see
persona,
it
I remember that.
con esa persona quiero estar. We were in the garage. She was doing laundry, right? And I was still seeing someone else. And she said, no, tú nada más quieres estar como puta. I was like,
I remember that.
I was like, what?
You were heartbroken.
I was like, what? why would she say that to me, right?
I'm her daughter.
Yes, yes. And I go again. My mom's been very direct. So then she said that to me, and you know, and I told her I was practically like telling her like, no, he's the one. He's the one.
Yeah.
She didn't believe it because I was already like testing all these other flavors, and she's like,
Right, because you know she didn't take you serious.
Yes,
Probably, right?
I didn't. But I was no matter how many times I tried to explain to her, like like he's the one. But if it would have been one of you guys, if it would have been a male, yes.
No.
If it would have been a male, it didn't matter how many girls you had seen. Yes.
No.
It didn't matter how many girls you had seen. You were okay. This is the one. Okay, go for it. You know.
Well, no, I don't think so because Dad always said,
I'll tell you,
don't
from my
fall in love.
experience, from the girlfriends I've had, and you know,
You've had girlfriends?
no, and boyfriends too.
Oh.
It's okay nowadays,
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
okay. It's, you know, just watch it at the end of the day, and it's like back to normal.
Judge
I
free
don't think
zone.
it's that. I don't think it's that simple. But
Judge
Yeah, it
free
is.
zone. Get yourself checked though.
I know. Yeah, I did it. We're good. So
good to know.
it's like, you know, Mom always said, you know, the first girl you bring into my house, that's the one you're gonna marry. And
Oh,
see,
y'all got that talk?
yeah, I mean,
It was don't bring a girl unless you're serious about her.
serious about it. Seriously.
That's right. I remember that.
So whenever I decided to get married, Mom was like, "Are you sure this is one of the ones you bring?" I was like, "No, this is the one."
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Did you bring more than one girl home?
no, just one.
Okay.
You have voice crack? I don't know.
Just one. That's a homie.
No, I'm just asking.
No, I brought a couple,
Oh.
but I guess it goes back to like you're different than I am. When I brought, I thought that was the one. You know, I was like all into it. I was
Yeah.
all loyal. So, and then after a while, I was like, screw this.
Yeah.
You just get one after the other. But going
Como
back to
juguete nuevo.
yep, when it's going back to talking to Mom, I was like, whatever. But when I talked to Dad about, this is the one, he's like, are you sure?
It's a whole different level
Yeah.
with Dad. You know,
Really?
When
Yeah, no,
I guess from our perspective, like when you went to Dad, it was
Damn,
like
Cindy.
that was.
Because like whenever
I mean, I didn't have to interact
Well,
with
yeah,
that
she
in
was
that
different,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
She had Mom.
Yeah,
we
so
had Dad.
whenever I
type thing.
decided to get married, it's funny because I told Dad, I think this is the one. And even Dad is like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, no, I think this is.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, if you're going to do it the right way. I was like, okay.
¿Te la robas?
No.
Ah.
Like, I tried to, but she didn't want to. So, I talked to Dad. Dad's like, fine. And I bought the ring, everything. We went and took her to Lake Travis to propose.
Yeah.
And I still remember, like,
I thought it was Galveston.
no,
So
it was
I get,
Lake Travis.
but share what he meant by do it the right way, right? 'Cause
Well, do it the right
their
way.
way was
yeah, do it the
different
right
than
way.
our
Well,
right way.
I guess in
my
the
way
right-
wasn't
yeah.
right.
I know.
right?
I was gonna say I don't know. That even matters
Yeah,
to
we
you.
put that out there. I mean,
My thing was, he did do it the right way, and I was like, okay, I already know what he meant. Go talk to her parents, talk to her, then they will go
traditional
talk to
way.
them. So what we did is, it was like I bought the ring and everything. I proposed and before I even proposed, I remember I was shopping around, and I called him was like, I'm gonna do
Shopping
it.
around for other females or shopping around for rings?
Good question.
shoes, 'cause
That's a
we were
good
going out
question.
at night. So I called Dad and I was like, hey, so I'm gonna do it. He's like, are you sure? He even told, he's like, are you sure?
¿Estás seguro?
I was like, yeah.
that's how you. That's
He's like, okay, well, go for it. So once I, called him and proposed, after I proposed, I was like, hey, ya lo hice. He's like, okay. Atente lo que se viene. I didn't know what that meant.
subtle words. Back to subtle words.
And I didn't know what that meant. So when we come back, I tell him
You're all
everything. Yeah, well, I'm
happy.
all happy.
Yeah. She
So
said
he's-
yes.
So he's like, when do you want to go talk to her parents?
Oh, you didn't ask him then.
Huh? No, I mean, I told her I was gonna go. I told him, I had to tell him I was because they wouldn't let her go without them knowing what was the reason.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you did tell. Okay, gotcha.
But
My
then
bad.
that's like, we gotta go, and I was like, okay. So we went. Obviously, the whole tradition. They take a bottle and a tote bag,
yeah,
and we go
man,
talk.
be
Yeah.
man.
So-
Drink so you can
Que
share your
dicen van a
feelings.
consolar, right?
Yeah,
That's what they
a
say.
consolar, yeah, there you go.
So we get
No,
there.
consolar con te robas.
Yeah.
So I get there, and it's funny
Lo que hizo
because
el Joey.
we had talked about, we're gonna get married, but we're gonna, do it in 2 years from now. Get our finances and everything. So we get there, and the whole 2 years just went down the drain. They set up the date. They're like, we're gonna do this. I was like, so who's getting married? But I got that look, and mind you, I guess different from y'all. I've always been a little bit, even if it's gonna sound funny, more obedient.
Yeah,
Yes,
because you were the
he-
first
he
one.
always has
you were the
been,
first
yeah.
one. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I was like,
All right. Well, let's
I looked at my wife. I was like, because I was like, yeah. Because when we went there, I was like, yeah, I think about a year and a half or 2 years. And my dad's like, próximo año se casa.
Oh damn.
So dad set the date
yeah,
for you.
'Cause their way of thinking is if you're gonna you're getting married to this person, there's
Why are
no
you gonna
need to
postpone
wait.
it? Yeah.
There's no need
Yeah.
to wait. Is
So it's like next year I was like, fuck. And he's like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I was like,
quiero banda,
Yeah.
quiero mariachis,
Yeah.
quiero open
so,
bar.
So we're
That,
like,
that's why Nato did it different. He's
well,
like,
I've always been
but
different
more
though.
props to him. I mean, whenever he did that, I was like, finally somebody's breaking that barrier.
I think the only ones that did the right thing according to mom and dad, I think it was only you all two.
Because you actually talked to mom and
yes. And then you went to go talk to her parents, right?
dad and brothers
Her mom.
and sisters.
And
Or
then
Well,
you-
brothers.
actually, that when I went, it was her mom, her brother,
Genius,
and her
mother.
aunts, her nieces.
Dang.
Everybody was present. I was like, oh fuck,
Did you take prices for everybody?
fuck no.
Did you take a bottle?
No.
So we were the non-traditional ones here.
No, he took it to a different level. You did.
I set new standards. I'm a
you're-
trendsetter, all
hold on,
right?
no, hold on. She's the sucia, so you did it wrong.
I was not sucia. I just,
Okay, she showered that night.
I know. I like to.
Well, you listened to whatever I said. You felt it in your heart. And
Yeah, well, no, and I felt
your
it, you
knees
know.
buckled. And
Well, I mean, needless to say, but once I felt it, he rejected me. He didn't want anything to do with me. I asked Joe on a date, and he was like, "No, I can't." What?
Well,
Are
you went
serious?
against the tradition. He was supposed to ask you.
No,
That's true.
it
That's
doesn't
true.
matter.
As a
No,
male.
now-
well,
no.
nowadays it's common for a female to go up
Well,
to the dude,
you know,
right?
I guess I'm
That's
a
what I'm afraid
trendsetter.
of.
No,
My little girl be
wait.
like, "Hey, you want to date me?" He's like, "Sophie, chill. Hold on."
No, I see Tori
Sophie
doing
or
that.
Tori?
Yeah, I was like Tori was.
Both.
La man.
But even then, at that point, I didn't care. I was just more like, hey, you know what? If you want to hang out with me, let's hang out.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
This was pre Netflix and chill.
There you go.
Apenas estaba on MySpace.
No, it was already MySpace was already old.
already
It was
Facebook era.
Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Entonces estoy viejo.
Yes, you are. But you just put your age out there.
I'm 27.
That's true. Look at his involvement on Facebook. That tells you everything. Whenever I see a comment from Christian, I was like, Christian?
I mean, Facebook to me, I only look at Facebook when I'm taking a shit. I mean, it's like that's where I look at Facebook. Like throughout the day, it's like
That's why
I'm
you
more,
take so
Thanks.
long
Now,
in
now
there?
I know what's a picture when I see you write me a message, dude. Thanks.
I mean,
He was thinking about you in the toilet.
Yeah,
That's what he
thanks.
because
was.
it's like, I mean, I don't have time to see what other people are doing. I mean, I got stuff going on. Whenever I look at my phone, it's like I'm watching a movie show, catching up on a TV show or
Okay,
something.
wait. Okay, so I have a
All right,
question.
here we
Wait. So so y'all don't think y'all had it, or y'all think that y'all had it rough when it came to dating?
No.
Not
I
at all.
think the roughest thing from my end of dating was leaving school and telling the girlfriend, hey, call me at 3:15, and that was like that time slot where mom wasn't home and dad was still at work, right? Because by the time they got home, nobody should be on the phone.
Didn't you have a cell phone?
Not
No,
until
see,
seventh
see,
grade,
this is-
eighth
this
I
grade.
was the first one to have a cell
Yeah,
phone.
this is the how old
You
I
had
am.
a brick one, huh?
Yeah, the
This-
Nokia.
This is how old I am because I remember, like you said, the whole phone thing. So I remember trying to talk to a girlfriend back in like middle school, and I'm with her like at 10 o'clock at night talking to her and everything, and, like todo escondido.
Yeah.
And then mom picks up the phone. Ya es noche. Cuélgale.
On the same line, on the same
I
line.
was like, I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I remember because I did have a cell phone was 7th or 8th grade, and one night, similar thing, right? I was over my dumbass was right here, right? Because we shared a room. So my dumbass right here talking in the dining room on the phone. It was like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 minutes, right? Back then there was 3 minutes
I-
after
After-
8.
Was it
after-
a weekday or a weekend?
Weekday.
It was a weekday.
Weekday.
I remember that. I remember it was a weekday because mom
And
was pissed.
yeah, and mom wakes up. It was like 1 in the morning.
Random,
Out of nowhere.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And
It's like this
let's say
mother
that was the
intuition.
last time I ever did that.
Yeah.
But it was funny because you listened to mom whenever she told you something, because once that got to dad, it was a whole different level.
Yeah.
You're like more deeper than what it was. So
Yeah.
it was like you paid attention.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as
Followed
relationships,
instructions.
I
from
mean,
your mom.
like he said earlier, right? He was in a relationship, so for him, it was like he was in his own world.
Wait, were you really not in a relationship, or you just never told anyone about your relationship?
I wasn't. I focused more on school.
That's why when he got married, seriously, I just went to the wedding because I thought it was a guy.
He said, "I went."
You know, when I met mom and dad at the airport, like If I see those, like, yeah, I mean, I want to know if it's
No,
such a girl or
no,
not.
you go because you're chismoso.
chismoso.
Yeah. You're in the know of everything.
Again, what did I just say? I wanted to know if it was a boy or girl. I was like,
That's what
damn.
happened.
And I got in trouble for saying that. So
It's okay.
It's okay.
But I don't think I ever had a tough time. And maybe from that perspective, I had it easier.
I never thought
But-
you had it easier.
I mean, to me, not that y'all had it easier or anything. It's like one of those where like the oldest did something stupid, don't do that. The second one did something stupid, don't do that. So it was like kind of like a clear path. You know?
No, there was no clear path.
So-
it was opposite. It was like, well, they fucked up.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And so you can't fuck up because they fucked up.
I
And if
think
you fuck up,
they set higher expectations for you, and they pretty much loaded it on you to where you
'Cause-
had no choice but to make it
'cause I
right.
knew-
maybe that's why I got the rewards. I don't know. Maybe that's why it's like,
I always
well,
felt like you and Chao got all the rewards, though.
What rewards?
All the rewards, dude. I'm gonna go out and party. Oh yeah, with
Here's a
what?
card.
Yeah, with what money? Dad's name on
That
the
is
debit
true.
card. Yeah. What
and
rewards?
it wasn't no 20,
30,
30.
Because I remember getting that call. Oye, tu hermano ya se está pasando. Habla con él. And I'm like, hold up. You're the mom and the dad. They're more afraid of you. Because if I talk to them, I mean, I'm not going to be like, hey, motherfucker, you're just trying to waste the mom's money. It's like, no. I mean, it's like, you talk to them. Whenever
It's not my money, it's
yeah,
your
whenever
money.
it came to money, I was like, I'm not going to get involved because that's not my money.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, you
So-
can vent all you want
So
to
going
me.
back to it, y'all got the rewards.
I mean, I definitely, I won't deny it, right? I got the
guess
new
so.
phones.
I
I got
guess
the new
so.
car.
This has been rewarded since he was like little kid. I mean,
Oh. Yeah.
soccer. I remember my favorite story. I remember like whenever he found out about expensive shoes because I was a dumb as the bottom.
Fuck, let's change the topic.
So he would get expensive any shoe that came out. We got him. So I remember we were playing with Dad Jaguares.
Oh God. I
And-
remember
Off of
that.
10.
Yeah, Tanner and I-10.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
we were playing there, and he needed new shoes, and obviously Dad's like, I'm gonna go out and buy him new shoes.
Yeah.
So Dad takes him to academy. He's like, yo no quiero esos. I was like, this.
I remember that I got that lecture where he's like, los zapatos no juegan.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
but the funny,
So the words.
but the funny part is, you got that lecture. But he
Yeah.
turns around and buy another guy that they wanted to play expensive shoes, and I'm the dumbass that ordered them too.
What do you think?
About what?
Do you think that y'all had more rewards than we did?
I guess so.
I don't know, rewards maybe?
I'll
let you answer. I'll let you answer.
Or-
for me, like I don't. Maybe
you-
Ski did. I did.
No,
it.
if you
Wait. Why is it that you don't think you
Why the
did?
fuck does it always turn
No,
to
but
me?
can I tell you that honestly, to me, I think the one that got most rewarded is him.
Why?
And I'm not trying to say anything stupid or anything bad, but because of the cancer and everything
Alright.
at that age, it was more.
Well, I
inclined-
don't think it was reward though. I think it was just more appreciation that they gave to him. I just
Well,
think
I mean,
to this
it's
day
not rewards, but
that
it's one of those where because of that, what happened, we all kind of went in that route.
Yeah.
You know, whenever.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I feel like I have a soft spot for him because of what he's gone through.
Yeah, me
right?
too. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Don't take it personal, but it's cool because even my wife, she's like, "Well, why do you do that?" I'm like, "It's Chago, you know." There's,
I don't
there's
know
no reason
because
to it.
sometimes you
It's
get
Chago.
upset. You get upset very easily, even though you're like, I'm not mad, and then inside you're like, right? But
What are you
the,
talking about?
like the Monster Inc. like Sully, is it Sully? Yeah, like that.
Sully.
Yes, Sully, my bad.
What?
My
Ese no era el piloto que salió de New York.
no de la película, no. But I just think that
Just
I-
let it out. Just let
I
it
think
out.
that's like, although y'all have a really great bond, and like you said, you have a really good spot for him. I think sometimes you still want to not get after him, but you still want to line him up and say like, why are you doing certain things?
I definitely do, but
I don't do those things no more. I'm a person.
I didn't even say anything. Like what? Like that. The whole smirk. He's like, I don't do that.
And no, it's funny, right? Because like moms, sometimes when she calls us, she was like, "Oh, your brothers did this. Talk to them." And
Well,
I'm like, "Mom, I'm the
You've never
youngest
talked to
one."
me about my issues.
Right, and-
Wait,
and-
do I have any issues that she talks to you about?
You have a lot of
No,
mental
and
issues.
I mean, the thing
you
I tell mom
got
is like,
GCI issues.
hopefully that stopped.
I mean, clearly, yes. Let's stop.
But
Maybe
you know,
you have toxic issues.
I I'm not toxic. I can tell you that I am not toxic.
Yeah. What if a female approaches Joe right now?
What?
Huh?
Why?
That attitude. I don't know. Ask her. Don't ask me.
No, I know my husband is smart enough to do the right thing.
Looking at the camera. You had not looked at the camera.
Anyways,
Aren't we
but
all smart enough to do the right thing?
we are smart enough? Is that what you said?
No, like from a male perspective.
We are?
I mean, from male perspective, if we're approached by a female, I think we are smart enough to do the smart thing.
I'll walk away.
Well, you know what? I've always told that to Joe, and he's always telling me, like, no, I would not say no. I would say, no, I can't do that. Anyways, that's a different topic. Back to your point. So you were saying...
You know, I told Mom, I was like, how can I tell them something when I'm the youngest one?
Why not? Age doesn't matter.
Age is just a number.
Age is... It's like you're out in the street and you see something being done wrong.
Yeah.
You're not gonna let your age get in the way of saying, "Hey, don't do that."
But
I can tell you,
so
he
like-
didn't when that girl was getting beat up at Austin.
Yeah,
at the-
yeah,
on
yeah,
10th Street.
yeah.
Child was brave. He's like, no. He gets in there,
And then
like
you
a
got in
whole
trouble, and my wife got in trouble that
Yeah, I
night.
got
No,
in
Adriana was about to get beat
But
up.
you got in trouble.
Yes.
No, well,
Damn,
because
she was about to get beat up?
Yes,
No,
dude.
no.
Yes, they were trying to
That
get
girl,
after
no,
her.
like that
They
one
were-
girl.
Yes,
actually,
she was trying to
like,
throw some punches at
well,
Adriana.
because again, he started.
This
the
is
shit.
why
Yes.
we're a cool family.
he started the shit, so we all jumped in.
Yes.
Because even Jose.
Well, no, he didn't start it.
No, he started it.
No,
tried
I
to
didn't-
stop
no,
it.
I
well,
tried
he
to stop
didn't
what was
stop
going
it.
on.
On our end, he started it.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
they always say, if
Well,
you like it, I love it.
Look,
You should have just left
to
it at that.
give the listeners perspective, there was a guy hitting the
Oh, that's
female
right.
close fist.
He was
No, but-
dragging
Yeah, there
her
was
too
close
from her.
to-
Yeah, but
from
it was funny
her hair,
because-
too.
It was not funny.
No, well, it's
Hey.
funny the way it started because they were arguing and we're walking by.
We were already calling it a night.
Yeah,
we were
well-
already heading back.
We were already drunk.
And she, what she does, I mean, I say it's funny because she socks that dude. She hit the
Yeah,
dude.
she did.
And I mean, that dude was like, boom, was like, oh, she hits hard.
No,
But that's a little bit of herself.
he
but
hit her
no,
because
but the way
the
he-
guy was pulling her hair.
No, but the way he did it,
There you
no,
go.
the
guy
way he
was
did,
pulling her hair, so that's why she hit
the way
him.
he did it, when he felt it, he picked her up and he slammed her.
Body
Yes,
slam.
yes,
that's
yes.
after.
I
And
remember
and
that.
That's, no,
body
that's
slam.
when he jumped in.
And you're like, hey.
We were all drunk. It sounds
No.
like he was pretty sober.
No, he was.
You share this story.
No, he was not sober,
he was not
dude.
sober. He was,
No, but the reason why the girl punched the guy was because he grabbed her by the hair.
Yeah.
I didn't see that part. I
Yeah,
saw
that's
when
what I'm
she
saying. He
like
saw
he
everything.
pushed her
when she
outside.
punched
And
him,
then
and then he
he-
picked
yeah.
her up and slammed. That's when
I
he
remember
jumped
the
in.
body slam.
And
But
that's
anyways,
when that-
the whole family got involved, right? Because you got really,
Well,
really.
except me. I was.
You started
I was elsewhere.
No,
Yeah.
then that famous cousin.
You were. That's not to be talked about that night.
And
But
then-
anyways,
and then that famous cousin started recording, and
so then.
my wife's cousin started recording. and I walked away.
And then,
So-
so Adriana's trying to stop it with me, right? And then somehow one girl gets involved,
It
and
was
she
that
starts,
one girl. That one girl.
The
who
one that
and
got
she
hit.
The one that got
starts
hit,
to go
that
for
was- yeah.
Adriana. But
Well,
Adriana
we're-
was trying to walk away from
No,
her.
Anna
She-
was trying to pull
She was
me.
trying to pull us,
And,
yeah.
and you were trying to pull Joe, and that's when we're like, don't never try to
Oh,
grab
I
us.
know. And Joe's
whenever
tripping.
that-
I got the worst conversation ever that night.
You ready to
Yeah,
jump in or what?
You ready? Come on.
That's Adriana, our sister-in-law.
Yes.
But it goes back to the. I mean, we kind of drive. So, what is your perspective about having it easy or not?
Well, remember he was telling us that he didn't feel like it would be right for him to talk to us about it because of his age. He's like, who am I to tell him because I'm the youngest one? But I don't think that should ever hold you back.
It shouldn't because
Ever.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's whether oldest, youngest. I mean, some of us think differently. You know.
Right, exactly. And that's
So-
my point. That's always been my point. Is like, you know, sometimes we're talking with my wife. We're like, oh, so, you know, Cindy did this, Christian did this, Chago did this, and she's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. You know, I don't know what they're thinking that makes them think that it's the right decision for them. You know, I don't know what they're thinking or feeling that they're like, this is my decision and that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I can't.
I mean, it goes back to like me. If we were having this conversation about decisions or what's going on 5 years ago, it'd be completely different.
yeah.
You know, I can sit here and talk to any one of y'all, whether it's finances, problems with wives,
I don't want to
whatever.
talk finances with you.
But it's one of those where it's one of those where I feel like I can call and get an answer that I want to. You know, whether
No,
it's-
well, that's the problem. Is that you want to get an answer that you want to.
no, well, not that I want. I said that word wrong. Not that I want
Reword
to.
that shit then.
Not that I want to. That makes sense.
Okay, there you,
You
go.
know.
Gotcha.
So
Oh, sorry.
¿Quieres un consejo?
No.
That was just asking
No,
for.
No, but it's funny because
¿Quién dijo yo?
I've mentioned before that we don't, although we're siblings, we actually don't go to one another for advice, or at least I don't reach out to you guys for advice.
No, you guys don't. And I think that's really bad of us. We used to have these family meetings.
All right, Joe.
I know. No. I'm just telling you. No, I think they
Well,
were.
I guess
wait,
in my
wait.
point of view, before you
Wait, I'm
continue-
not even done talking. That's your problem.
This is my sister.
Yes. Where you going? I didn't kick you away.
No te vayas.
That's how small his bladder is.
No te vayas a regresar.
What you were saying though, keep on going.
I was saying, when we used to have these family meetings, we used to, we weren't not in trouble necessarily, but it was just more like, hey guys, just as an update, this is going on.
Together on.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, don't fuck up like I fucked up.
Yeah. So I think it helped. I think they're harder now because now we're married, right? And we're older. In my opinion, I feel that sometimes certain family meetings should still be held as siblings. Like, okay, this is what's going on. What should we do?
We'll schedule a Zoom.
And then there's also sometimes I feel like there should be family meetings where we do include our spouses because it could potentially impacts your household, right? I don't think that we do enough of that.
Yeah.
And I think in my opinion, they were great. And that's something I actually want to do with my family.
But is it one of those that, do you think it stopped because we each married our partner that has different beliefs? So we as a partner, you get to mesh that, right?
Yeah.
That is not an easy thing to do. We were raised to be there for one another, and we are good about that, right? We're like, hey, I need this. All right, cool. Let's do it. But we weren't raised to be like, hey, this is how you bring your partner into your way of life.
But I think that's something you learn how to do, though. And it's not to make them. I don't believe that you have to convince your partner to agree with what you're
I'll
doing.
say from my experience, because I remember
I was fucking.
Why you always gotta cut her off, bro?
I'm telling you. Ya, dale.
ahora ya no quiero.
No, pues ahora habla.
No quiero.
Yo no quiero hablar.
Los voy a cambiar de asientos como los niños.
For real.
Amá.
She's about to say gas. No, I heard.
Cindy me está haciendo bullying.
What were you gonna say though?
No,
Say
go
it.
for it.
Just say.
I'm listening.
No,
Drop the facts.
No, go for it.
Ya se me fue la onda.
Pues recupérala.
Pues ¿dónde?
La onda es from
Dale.
bullying, ahora no quiero yo.
Habla.
Cheers.
Okay.
They're reconnecting in front of our eyes.
Sí, lo que está haciendo.
I don't even know what I was saying. Besides the fact that I think that it's really good. You can't convince your spouse to do something that you've done. And all honestly, these meetings, like you said, we were to bring our spouses into a meeting, right? We say, let's get a family gathering.
Maybe we have to do it through a podcast. I don't know.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, but you have to come in with the perspective of I'm here to deliver my opinion, but also not get offended by the person next to me.
Learn how to respect people's opinions.
Yes, and
People forget
we're
that
not
value.
here to agree, but we can learn how to disagree.
Teach me why you think that way. That's how I always.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. I was like,
No.
I seriously thought too. He was asking.
yeah. So I was like,
and that's where I go. Like my person, since I got married first, my person, I always wanted to bring.
well, technically, you didn't get married first, but yes, okay.
Okay, no,
Sucia.
Did you marry
Shots
first?
fired.
I got married before he did.
no, you didn't.
No, he did.
I got married. You were living with him before I did.
Hold
Nah,
on.
nah.
We just dropped the bomb right there.
Got married.
We didn't know about that.
Better yet, who had the party? That's what
No, what
counts.
she means is she got married differently.
Yes.
She didn't have a traditional
Yeah,
wedding.
law marriage.
No, I went to court and I got married before you
I
did.
didn't even know. Did you know that?
No, nobody knew.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all just.
Bam! There you go.
Fuck
Ama.
yeah. And this is why we're doing this.
Yes. This is not for you to go tattletale either.
I want to get brownie points.
All right, Nato, I
Mom.
see you. I see you, Nato.
No, it goes back to it goes back to when I was dating. We'd have always this conversation, right? So at one point, I was telling her my problems with my now wife. So I feel that at one point that kind of affected whatever bond
No,
was.
I can tell you what
I know,
affected.
but I'm saying, well, pues habla ahora, ¿qué me callaste?
Yeah, it's like in terms of.
Okay, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. You build a relationship with your siblings, right?
No doubt.
And then you have this unification, and you're like, okay, that's my brother. I'm gonna tell you from my perspective. That's
Till
my brother.
the
That's
day
my
I die.
brother. Right? What?
Yeah. So dad die.
Yeah. So then here comes a girl, right? And which now they're like sister-in-laws. But at that point, you're like, who is that?
Oh yeah,
Who's that?
especially
Like,
you.
yeah, like,
Yeah, you.
like,
Ugh, brutal.
why does she want to be with my brother? Right? This is like me thinking as a sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I'm like, well, why does she want to be with him? That's my brother, right?
He doesn't even know how to clean or cook.
I know, right?
Nigga
Yeah,
broke.
so, but like, I'll give you like his perspective. I was really happy for him that
Now
he
we
found
gotta
someone.
hear everybody's perspective. I
Right?
want to hear his and mine.
I was happy that he found someone, but then I was like, "Fuck, I'm losing a brother." Like that's how I felt. It's like I'm
You felt
losing
jealous.
it. Yeah, yeah.
And hopefully some of our listeners comment from a girl's perspective, right?
Yeah.
And say, I agree with you or I don't agree
Yeah,
with you. I was
yeah.
glad they took his ass away. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was tired of cleaning after his ass.
Believe me, I was happy because his alarm would always go off like 10 times every morning. And that's the most
and he
annoying
still
shit
never
ever.
woke
Yes.
up.
Not no more. Now wake up.
But you establish a bond with your siblings, and all of a sudden, like you see them being taken away because as you're going with that person, you're starting to change your ways as well.
Yeah.
Right.
You adapt, you
Because
start-
you're
yeah.
yes, you're starting your own
You're
marriage.
adapting pretty much.
Yeah.
So what? Yes. So there's so to your point, is there some sort of jealousy? Yes, because you're like, hey, how come I can't talk to my brother like I used to anymore?
That's true.
And I mean,
You know?
I was in and out all the time. I was like,
And it's not like no weird shit. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
no,
You know,
yeah,
but it's like you've known each other for like
You don't
18,
feel
20
like you
years.
can bug him anymore.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like this girl is coming
their
in.
world just went over here.
Yeah, it's like why is he not talking to me anymore? Why is he not like I saw a meme on Instagram, right? It's a sister, it's a guy and his sister, and then his girlfriend. And the girlfriend got a Starbucks cup, and then the sister comes over.
I saw that one.
The sister comes over and she snatches that shit off and throws it on the floor. She pretty much tells her like, if I didn't get one, you're not getting one,
Yeah.
right?
Man, boy.
I know it's some serious shit, but like that's how you feel. You're like, but why did she get it, and why am I not being taken to the store anymore?
So is that how you felt about all of us, or just with Christian,
yeah,
'cause
like
you were closer?
you go through the like, and then not only that, but I'm thinking like,
But you were
well,
gone by the time we got
That-
there.
that
That's
doesn't
what's
change the
interesting.
fact that you're my brother. And then you're
were
thinking like,
gone.
is she really gonna take care of him? Does she really love him, or does she like him for
my
his?
wife, my wife just married me for my money. That was it.
I know.
Yeah.
You just like filthy rich.
I
I,
think
know
it was the
that.
opposite way. I think you married her because
I thought I was gonna
you
get
trying
the
to
18
get
wheeler, dude.
papers.
I didn't even get the 18 wheeler. JJ got the 18 wheeler.
But you think about like I'm telling you from my perspective, it's like because all of a sudden you guys change. Y'all are not the same.
Well, yeah, because we're trying to get something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I'm trying to get it in. I ain't
Exactly.
You're my sister. I'm
Exactly.
gonna see you hard. So,
Right, exactly. She's gonna give you something that
I'm trying to get
you're not gonna
mine.
get in a family, and I get that. But there's still like a disconnection, and that's the part that you don't know how to cope with. You're like, well, how do I accept that he's no longer, although he's gonna be my brother, he's no longer gonna be involved in so
But
much.
see, I'm gonna bring up an interesting topic.
Drop
That's
it.
my point of view.
Drop
Tell
it.
me.
No.
Let
But
it-
we
let
go
it
to
down.
this. We're all getting married. Our lives are changing. We're no longer the unified family that we were in a certain way.
Yeah,
we are. If we
'cause
like,
everybody-
if you got something, we're all gonna be there.
Right.
With each one of us.
Some of us
But-
later than others, but yeah,
but
they
it
get
was-
there.
We'll make it happen.
It goes back to growing up, seeing how our families divided. My perspective on that is like I don't want to have us do what our uncles and aunts on both sides of the family do.
That's true.
I want to be able to come here, drink a beer, do this, or go to without no problems, no issue, no he said, she said, or with the wife, with the sister-in-law, with the brother-in-law.
And we've been good about that.
no, that's what I'm saying. So I
Yeah,
guess
I think it comes back to how we were raised in a way.
how we were raised and what we saw.
What we saw.
Yeah.
What we saw that we took again, take the good from the bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the whole thing. Where like, I don't want that. I don't want to. Oh, I hate you. I don't want to talk to you. Even go to my parents' funeral or something, and just be a hypocrite. And then after that, walk away like I don't know you. You know.
And the cool, I'm not to interrupt you, right? Because y'all been interrupting each other. I don't want to interrupt, but the cool thing about that is that our parents raised us to remember that you're always going to be brothers no matter what, right? Brothers and sisters no matter what. Don't let your spouses split you guys up, right? I mean, I take that.
No, I take that
still,
too.
you
From
know,
heart,
it-
yeah.
It's,
I mean-
it's one of those core values that they taught us. Is like
It's one of those that you want
it's
to
your
pass
responsibility
along, you know?
to bring them into our family
Yep.
and teach them our ways type
Yep.
thing. And that was the challenge for me. My wife's Puerto Rican, her ways of thinking are different. That whenever she was like, why did we have to go have a family gathering and talk about this? What's so hard about it? It's just like I mean, I didn't know how to at that time I didn't know how to explain to her like this is what we do
Yeah.
when there's an issue. She's like, well, why do you have to be there with something wrong? Let them figure it out. I was like,
It's more than that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. To us, it was like something's wrong.
No,
We
and-
all
and-
got to be there type
and it's
thing,
funny
right?
you say that, but it doesn't even have to be a different culture. My wife, we're from the same culture, and it was the same thing. Like he said, explain to her, we gotta go. Why do you have to be there? It's like, because we want to solve this. We want to just squash everything that has to be done, and don't let this linger.
Right.
Or let it be more than what it is.
Yeah.
Because again, at the end of the day, it's something small, and then we turn it into a freaking.
Because it's what we saw growing up, right? We saw our parents and uncles arguing over to now that we know what it was like dumb shit.
Yep.
It's like,
What's
wait,
dumb shit?
you argued over that? Like, seriously? Like, that's why y'all didn't talk for 2 years? Like,
And it's funny, and it gets just not in our family, just in general. A funeral always brings somebody together.
sadly.
Sadly.
No pun intended.
Yes.
Sadly.
Thank
and
you.
Then, but then after that, after a couple months, it goes back to the same ways. Mm-hmm. It's just that facade that was there for the moment. That's it.
They just put up a frame, put up a face.
So it's it's like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it with us. I was like, I don't want it to get to that point. So I think
Right.
we've done a good job to this point. That there was an issue, we solved it.
Damn, you got a big ass tongue.
Chilling.
That boy's like, ah.
Careful, you might get some hair in there. You're gonna cough off the hairball.
I'm gonna piggyback on what Christian was saying.
Okay.
Because
You haven't said
we don't get together like to solve
No.
problems that happen between us. We get together to solve problems that are going on between the family.
Yeah.
Like hardships, not problems that are created between one another. So that's good. I think we're doing good in that perspective.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both in my eyes, right? We get together to talk hardships, but we get together, or I guess we used to get together to talk problems where it's like, hey, what's wrong with you that you're not? And I'm
Yeah.
not pointing at you just because it's you, right?
As an example, yes.
Yeah, what's wrong with you that you're not showing up?
Yeah.
It's one of those that
It's soccer, bro. I saw it to me.
I mean, but yeah, and that's kind of one of those things that everybody has their own priorities, but to you and to me, maybe it's not soccer's not a priority, right? It's like why can't you
Yeah.
drop soccer, But
Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Like today, and we go back to we're there for each other. I mean, to me,
Why are you interrupting?
because I'm interrupting. the
Okay.
person. Cállate. So,
there goes the older status.
me respetas.
¿Qué
Soy
con
tu
eso?
mayor.
Ah, damn it!
No.
I hated those words.
Hey.
Respect your elders.
Habla.
No quiero.
Habla.
¿Tú quién eres?
Dame tus huevos.
Aquí.
Okay.
So,
horrible.
Jesus
where's
Christ.
Africa? Well, it's like me. Like I was like soccer to us is important. It's not that. Unfortunately, we have our kids in competitive sports.
Yeah, I mean,
So today was one of those where my daughter would have had a tournament in Austin, my son would have had a tournament in Louisiana. So it was one of those I would have to call me like, dude, I'll probably be there Friday to give Mateo his birthday present because I gotta go to town.
yeah,
And if I don't go, my son gets chewed out.
yeah.
So it's one of those where stuff. But to me, that's minimal. That's not something that we can't surpass or do something
Right.
before or after.
You're definitely right, and I think the challenging part is through sports, through family, you start to teach your kids values, right? And as a parent, you have to unfortunately make that decision. It's like, okay, do I want to teach at this moment, right? That's an area you said the birthday and the soccer thing. At this moment, do I want to teach you the value of commitment or the value of family, right?
Well,
and it gets very tough.
That's a
And,
tough
and,
one.
and it's I say it's tough for me because y'all know your nephew.
Yeah,
That
exactly,
dude's-
exactly. And you're looking for the best interest of your kid.
Well, not
right?
only that, y'all know him. He's
He's committed to it.
committed.
He's,
so
yeah, exactly.
His mind is set on something.
And but the bad thing is, well, I won't say bad, right? But unfortunate thing is, our parents see it as no, your family always comes first, no matter what, right?
Which,
so
I mean-
fighting that battle, or I guess fighting that battle with them and trying to teach them, like, okay, I respect your ways that how they were back then, but this is how things are
But it goes-
now, and
you
this
know,
is what I'm trying to do with
It
my
goes-
kids and
it
my
goes
family.
back to, I never said it to you, but I remember talking to you about it back when you were still in, at UT. And I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, dude, you got to do what you got to do for you. If it means that I stand in between you and your goal, knock me out.
Yeah.
Get me out of the
And
way.
it's funny because mom always had that mentality, right? But yet, whenever you did it, she would get mad about it. You're just like, why are you doing that? You can't be doing that. You can't be putting your family aside. You know, it's just like, well, mom, you told me whatever I have to do, I have to do. Like,
So I mean, so that's my mentality towards my kids. That's what I'm teaching them. You know, at the end of the day, don't let me stand in between you and your goals. Because at the end of the day, you're the ones gonna have to live through it, not me. You know, I'm gonna be there for you in whatever way I can, but you're gonna suffer your own consequences.
yeah.
So I mean, you're on your own in that term.
But so did you learn this growing up from, I guess, how mom and dad raised us, or is this something that you just knew you wanted to do with your kids, or what?
It goes back to breaking the cycle. You learn from your parents.
So you're trying to set new standards, I guess.
New standards,
per se,
set a whole
right?
different way of us as a second generation, third generation, do things different.
We're we're first
We're
generation.
first. We're first. Our kids are second.
Yeah, our kids are
So
second.
it's do it different. You know, don't hold your, because I feel like at certain point with all our Hispanic, you know, tradition, it's like you hold yourself back.
Mentality, yeah, and that's
You hold yourself, and
I
Not everybody,
100%
but
agree
no,
with you.
tú eres la sucia. So I'm gonna change you. I'm gonna call her la sucia.
La tóxica one.
No, I'm not. I am not toxic. No,
Okay,
I'm not toxic.
No,
Anyways,
okay.
talk.
So it goes, you know, it
Como
goes
el
back to.
meme ese, ya me cansé de pelear contigo. No se quieres ir a pelear con otra. Así me imagino
But it
haciendo.
goes back to that, you know. It's like we see everything that goes around with our family all around,
Yeah.
and it's kind of where like, do we want to go through that, or do we want to just be unified? You know,
Yeah.
what do you do? You know, and it's easy. I don't want to have those problems,
Right.
so we'll try to make it work. And where it goes back to our spouses and everything, yeah, I mean it's difficult once you get married, but I don't think it's something that can be worked out.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess from that though, like, I guess is this in the sense of that you hope to keep your part of the family together, or are you trying to teach your kids something because of how you grew up?
Both, like keep the family together and also teach them that, you know, at the end of the day, you got to understand that your family is going to be there for you, whether you mess up or you don't.
Yeah.
They're always going to have your back.
They're gonna understand.
I wanted to be to the point where if my son has a problem, he can't come to me, he comes to one of y'all.
Gotcha.
You know, so
And I guess have you introduced that to them? Like, hey,
Yeah.
if I don't know how to answer, talk to
no,
your uncles.
I have. I was like, dude, if I can't teach you something, you got other options.
Yeah.
Not just me. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. We were last time we were talking, so I think
Yeah.
we had a moment.
Yeah.
And I told Cindy, like, I never saw you as the person you are now. To me, it's like you're my sister. I
No.
Yeah, to us, we're still siblings, right?
The reality was that you all have never seen me in my professional manner.
I'm being like me,
But yeah,
just me.
yeah.
My
Yeah, for you personally with her.
yeah, my
Yeah.
what was my what's the proper word I'm trying to use?
Perspective,
No, not perspective. Come on. Okay.
opinion. Just keep talking.
But
it'll
it's
come
one
back.
of those where I never saw her through her professional level. I always saw her as my sister,
Yeah.
and the one that quote unquote doesn't know how to talk. You know. No, but that's just me.
Right.
But then we had a conversation. It's like, oh shit, this is a completely different person from what I recall.
Yeah, from
So-
when I was covering her up from dating.
No, not even
Right?
that.
You know,
Not
like-
even that. And this is like a couple of years ago that I was like, oh shit, this is who you become.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's good to have at least somebody like this that my daughters can look up to. Mm-hmm. My sister-in-law too. It's like, you know, women that
They
can
establish
interact-
themselves.
can interact in the real
Right,
world,
exactly.
and can actually give an example. It's like, oh shit, you know, that's. And I was like, I never thought about you like that.
And it's kind of one of those, like she was saying, I was trying to prove mom wrong, right? And by proving mom wrong, you meant staying away from that Mexican mentality of
Yeah.
a woman has to cook, a woman has to clean, a woman can't be independent.
Exactly.
A woman depends on a man, right? And so to be able to have that firsthand, it's a rarity.
And it's funny that if my wife was here, she'll tell you that her mom was like, you gotta, you know, be the wife, the cook, and
Right,
everything. And she's
exactly.
like, no, I'm gonna do this. It's like she's again breaking that cycle,
Right.
Yeah.
Breaking. So it's like, I guess we all have that.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's trying to set their new standards. You know, we went through the educational system, the cultural system,
Yeah.
that we're like, all right, look, I respect how mom and dad raised us.
Yeah.
And I don't take it personal. I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take that and I'm going to take what I've learned and I'm gonna start, you know, meshing it together to Why do I want my kids to be like?
The way I see it is more like they gave us a foundation. They built a foundation for us,
Whether
right?
good, bad, or different.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna take what you want to take from it.
Right.
You know, everybody has their own opinion. Some of us may believe that mom and dad did wrong. Some of us may believe that mom and dad did good. You know, there's always goods and
Pros and
bad.
cons,
Yeah,
yeah.
pros and cons. Thank you. But you know, it's just the way you were raised, and ultimately, I remember, man, mom was amazing. So was dad.
Is,
You know, but.
are.
But mom told me when I was done with high school, she said, "No te quiero aquí. Yo no te necesito que te quedes aquí in Houston."
But she wasn't kicking you out type thing. She was just
Okay. Well, and I was like, well, pues, ¿a dónde me voy a ir? Dice, no sé a dónde te vas a ir, pero aquí no te vas a quedar. Si tú te quedas aquí, vas a salir embarazada y no vas a hacer nada con tu vida. And I was like, what?
So
What?
she didn't think like you going like
staying here was.
Was that an
you
option?
leaving would have been worse because now you got all the freedom in the world.
Because a female wasn't supposed to leave their house, right?
Yeah. But then eventually, mom taught us how to be taught me how to be responsible, and so she only taught me a little bit, but she knew that by sending me away, I was going to learn one way, no other way. You are going to be responsible. And not only that, but my mom used to be a housekeeper, right? And so slightly
Yeah.
is. Mom used to take us.
Yeah.
Dude, and it sucked. Like I was like, why do I have to wake up on my days off,
Yeah,
right?
You got to go on
On a
trips.
Saturday morning.
And no. Before this,
Yeah,
before
but
the
I was
trips,
like, you still got to go on trips.
before
You
the
got good part
trips,
about
we
it.
had to go and clean the houses, and I mean, it wasn't much that we did, but the little bit that we did, I remember thinking, man, I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to do better. How am I going to do better? I want to do something like the people that were cleaning their houses for. That's what I want to do, right?
You wanted to be the owner of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wanted to be successful. So how do I line that up? So then I'm very thankful that mom did that. You know, she dragged us out there when she could, because she was able to teach us. Like she would tell us, si no quieres hacer esto, tienes que trabajar y estudiar. Vas a agarrar algo mejor, pero no quieres hacer lo que yo estoy haciendo.
Right.
And it's true. I didn't want to do that, right? So then here I am on my own, and I'm thinking like, okay, I might just go to U of H, right? Mom said, your ass ain't staying here. Bye, Felicia.
But you know what's
You
funny
know?
though? That was her indirect way of challenging you, right?
Yeah, because
they weren't going to tell you that, right?
She said it hurt her when she told me that. What mom wants to send her only daughter away? Not one mom. I can tell you that right now.
It's funny you say that you know.
Thanks for cutting me off. But
Okay, so like me personally, while she's saying all this, it makes you reflect.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, me doing the shit that I did, the way that I did it wrong, you know, it's like,
But was it wrong?
yes, it was. I mean, I'll admit to it now.
No, I'm saying
Oh, okay, I was
because you were figuring it out,
Yeah,
right? You
now-
were the first
yeah,
one.
now-
you were
now-
literally the first,
Now I know, 'cause, I mean,
generation.
well, at first it was like more like I wanted to find an excuse, you know, because yes, I had the scholarship lined up with soccer. I was supposed to go to University of Southern Wisconsin, whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't have documentation to do it.
Yeah, so your story is
So-
definitely challenging. We'll have to bring you back and talk about
So
being
it's-
no bullshit.
So it's
You know,
one of those
being-
where I had the opportunity, but I couldn't take advantage of it.
Unfortunately,
So I
yeah.
blamed them for the first, and nobody knew this until now that I'm saying, for the first 4 years, I turned into that rebel child because I didn't get what I wanted.
I mean, I don't think
we
you
knew
have to tell
that.
anybody, but we kind of,
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess,
we put two and two together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
every time I had an opportunity, I would use my excuse, you know?
we knew that too.
So it comes to the point now where I hate that. I can't stand somebody using an excuse to do something. No, there's
And-
other options.
What do you
That's
mean?
badass,
Like
though.
you're the one your son told you? Oh, you know, you don't love me. You don't care for me.
Damn, that's rough.
Okay, so that story I'll tell the story. So my little, well, he's 10 now. He plays soccer.
This
so,
goes to show it repeats itself. History repeats itself, right? History teacher.
So he comes after a game, whatever. We go home and we're showering. And he does something stupid. So I spanked his ass and I hit his thigh. I hit his right thigh
Yeah.
like twice. So this dude grabs his thigh like, oh, you don't love me. You hit me. I'm not gonna play soccer no more. Bless you. I'm not gonna play soccer. You hurt my career. I was like, dude, get the fuck up. No, you don't love me. I was like, you know what? Whatever. So yeah, I mean, you said history, but it goes back to that. I use that to my advantage, and we all.
Would you say that you made excuses for yourself by using that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You know, and I'm not going to deny it. I
Yeah.
did. So it goes back to we all got that opportunity that they got their degree.
Mm-hmm.
We got the same opportunity. We did things differently by choice.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't. At the end of the day, we can't blame them because they got all the.
Oh,
bullshit.
no,
So-
no, like, there's
I'm
no
not-
blaming.
No, I'm not saying it in a bad way.
But I think it's like the recognition. I think that they were able to take advantage of a lot more than it was for us because we were still technically the guinea pigs.
Not. Yes
By
and
the
no.
time
Yes and
by
no.
the time I got to him,
I'll tell you yes and no. And the reason I say
yeah,
yes and
you.
no.
It kind of to the point where he already knew what to do. Like there's some sort of guidance. By the time I got to Nato, you know, mom and dad, they didn't go with me to my orientation, right? They didn't go with you to your orientation, but they went to Nato's, right? So they were much more involved with him by the time I got to him.
They didn't go to my orientation.
Yeah, they
I
did.
drove myself up there.
He didn't go. They didn't
They
go.
dropped me off.
No. Dad and mom went to
they dropped me off.
Well, no, they went to an event. It probably wasn't an orientation, but what
one
was
they
dropped
it?
me off.
No,
No, they went-
Mom and dad went to with you to check out the campus.
Oh yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then engineering.
And,
Yeah.
and they took advantage because they wanted to go with Rafa and everything.
Yeah.
So it was one of
That's
those,
true. Well,
two
yeah,
birds,
but
one-
ultimately it was for him.
But it goes back to that where, you know, it's like we did our shit a different way. I did my thing a different way because at the moment my excuse was that. You know, my excuse was I didn't get what I wanted, so I'm gonna do this differently. And it backfired on me. It backfired me for a couple of years. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just trying to figure shit out, getting into one thing, get into another, doing this. Luckily, I mean, I'm in a good situation now.
Yeah.
But it goes to where it took a lot to learn. So like I said a while ago, if we would have this conversation 10 years ago, I'll tell you something different than what I'm telling you now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And it goes back to again where I guess there's a purpose for you and little by little you try to get into that rail, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I guess to let the listeners know, right? The challenge with Christian was that he was born in Mexico, so he and
LBJ, bro, LBJ.
well, yeah, my bad, you know. But the challenge of being an illegal, you know, resident or
Well, it's funny because
You know,
at 17,
immigrant, you know?
my friends were driving and I was like, Mom, can I go get a driver's license? She's like, no,
Not
no
yet.
puedes.
Not
no,
yet.
and, you
no,
know, as a 17-year-old,
No.
how do you take that? How do you
Mom was-
process that?
Mom was
Right?
like, no puedes. I was like, what do you mean I can't? They have it. It's like, no puedes, mijo. I was like, I still remember going to Mexico and I having to memorize Nando's information so I can
Yeah.
cross, like his old birth certificate.
Shout out to Nando, by the way. He
Yeah.
listens to us. So we're going to have to get him out here one day and share his
So like,
story
I
as
remember,
well.
you know, Nando, I mean, I can probably take his social security and make it work,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I had to remember all that in order to cross back into the U.S.
Right.
And every time we get there, I was like, once we're like 30 minutes away, I started like just repeating everything. And obviously, when we crossed, nothing ever happened. But
Yeah.
but it's one
Times
of
were
those where-
different back then.
So it's like, what do you do when they tell you you can't? You know, it's like, damn. And then I tried to get a passport, and then you couldn't because I was like, Mom was there, but the other dude wasn't there. So I was like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so that's when I was like, you know what, screw this. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. It is what it is.
Right. I'm just going to go. You know,
Yeah.
nobody's going to stop me.
So, and trust me, I got into a lot of trouble.
Well, yeah, but I mean, nobody has the right path, right? If everybody had the right path, we'd be perfect.
I think we build it. We
Right.
build it based on what we know and what we want to do, and ultimately it comes down to what do you want to do? Do you want to? I was actually talking to Joe about this on the way down here, you know, because we had a really good conversation about.
That's what I like about road trips. Just side note.
Yeah. I mean, you start talking about things that you.
Another side note. Can you give me another beer, please?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So about other things that you probably
See,
don't
I'm
want
not the only
to
one
talk about.
interrupting you.
I know.
No, I
And
didn't-
he
I
talks
said on
some
the
shit
side.
about y'all, but anyways. So it's just you work what you want to do. So you know it's clear. Do y'all want one?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. You want?
You don't want to know?
No, I'm good.
You know, like as Christian mentioned,
El sabor.
you know, the younger ones have their degrees, and then the middle
That's
semi
true.
older,
The two oldest ones.
yeah,
and
the
two
two
youngest,
oldest
the split,
ones
yeah.
we do not, but that has yet to stop me. You know, I think
Yes.
that
preach.
sky's the limit. You know, do you still think about it like, oh, I don't have my degree, yeah, but you still strive for more. You know,
Yeah.
if I was able to do it once, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to continue to do it as much as I can. You just go based on what you know. You learn, you learn, and I've seen people with degrees and that come in believe me, I deal and I encounter with those all the time. And some of them don't know as much, but they learn, you know, and you go with what
They're
you learn.
book smart.
Some of them are book smart, you know, but I think at the end of the day, I mean, you still strive to do better. You still strive to
Right.
It's one of those where, you know, like you said, y'all have your degrees, and at one point it's like, and this is personally, it's like indirectly, it's like you get thrown that in your face, you know, and by that, it's a good thing. Now that you see things, it's a good thing because it makes you push yourself even harder.
It's a challenge.
And it's
now,
like one of those where a parent, like our parents have been able to manipulate us because they challenge us in different ways. Mm-hmm. So it's like you take that as like, you know what, I'm gonna prove you wrong, and at the end it's like, ya ves, lo podías hacer.
Right. It's subtle words.
Yeah,
subtle words that they find a way to, you know, spark that little fire.
So
in you.
so it's like, you know what, like we said, we don't have a degree, but we're in a good place, you know.
Yeah.
Do you want to teach your kid that? It's like where you, it kind of makes you think, do you want them to get a degree if they can get a good job without it? You know, no, but this is what we had
No, nothing wrong with it.
we had that conversation. We had the conversation with mom and dad when we were at your place. So it's like, do you want to do it? And they're like, no, you need it. But it's like, we see our examples like shit. But then me, like hers is different. Me, I was like, no. Me, it's like, I want to push for something for them, you know, because I don't want them to they're physically killing themselves just to be in a good place, you know.
Right.
But then as you get older,
I'm gonna interrupt you now, like you interrupted Cindy the whole night, right? But it goes back to why we're doing the podcast, right? It's we're trying to tell people that just because you're educated doesn't mean you're successful, right? You know, and it literally perfect example. Split it down halfway, right? You guys do not have a college degree, but you guys are successful, right? You do your thing, like he was saying earlier. He has never seen you talk in that manner that he was like, damn, that's my sister.
The way you guys see me now, it's not how I interact at work,
Right?
but it's a whole different person.
Exactly, but that's who we are, right? That's how we've been taught that we're humble. You know, stay true to yourself. You be who you have to be at work, but remember who you really are, right? You have your own business. You do your own thing. Obviously, we're educated, but that's where you don't have to be educated and have a degree to be successful, right? But unfortunately, to our parents, that's what it was. It was supposed to be. You, in order to be successful here, you have to be educated.
To our culture. Pretty much that's what it is.
Exactly, because to them, they came to this country. They didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
They just saw people that are like, oh, look, that guy has a degree. He has money. That guy, you know, and so on. They just kind of made it click. And so to them, they're like, oh, well, if my kid gets an education, then they'll be in their shoes whenever they're done, right?
And for that, I don't blame them. You know, I think that's a really great way to come into a different new country where you know nothing, and then here you are bearing kids, and now you're thinking, okay, well, what do I instill in them? I think that's a really great foundation. But ultimately, I think one thing that I will never take away from my parents is that at this point, they've realized that it doesn't matter, I mean, what you have, but it's who you are that will get you there.
How you treat people.
Yes.
How you
treat
people. That to this, I mean, to this day, I stay true to that, right?
Yes.
I think dad is more of that, you know.
Stay humble.
Yeah.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Mom is, but I think dad's the one
that speaks it and preaches it, right?
That's the one that kind of reminds you all the time.
Dad always has that personality. He's a very likable person, right?
Yeah.
Dad, you show up to his house. Oh, ¿quieres cerveza? ¿Quieres agua?
He's
¿Quieres
the
coca?
type
You know,
of person
just,
that, hey, I like your shoes. Here, take them.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
I mean, I got mad at that dude because we gave him that Troy Aikman jersey for his birthday a couple of years ago.
He's like, here you go.
He was trying to give it away in Mexico. I was like, dude, really?
Right, because to him, you know, it's just.
I mean, I remember growing
you
up.
want to take, you know, you shouldn't be anxious to have these things.
Yeah.
You know, I can go back and get, and you know, he's not being cocky. He's just, you have it. I'll go back.
The ability
and I'll
of
get
having
another
it.
one, right?
You know, it's funny. Growing up, I guess I don't know if you remember, but him doing all that every time we would go to Mexico, dude, ya llegó loco.
Dude, not only with that,
yeah,
not only with it, we would sometimes if our cousins liked our shoes, we would come back with
I'll buy you new ones.
Yeah, like okay,
Even though you like them, they're like,
yeah, like okay, well.
But I mean, that's who he is, and that's the reputation he developed, and pretty much that's him being humble. Like
That's what he instilled in us, you know.
So it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. You're going through a rough time. Here you go. You can have my shirt, or how can I help you?
Yes.
You know?
It still goes back to who you are.
Right.
You know, you are who you are, and I think that's what you end up taking to you with yourself, and you end up being someone. Right. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. You know, I can just sit back and not be anyone and be like, fuck it. Well, I don't have to do anything. I could just sit here and I don't have that. So why am I going to strive for more? But I'm not like that because mom and dad are not like that.
I mean, I mean, you guys can correct me, right? But I think indirectly they taught us hard work.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying is that even though with mom and dad not having a degree in this country, right?
Or in hers, right?
Or in mom's case.
Does, right?
Dad does. But mom's case, she doesn't even have a high school diploma. She always strove for, like she said, I'm going to get more. I'm going to get more. I got more. I'm still going to fight for more. Oh, she does?
Yeah,
okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Okay.
But that was it, though. Like, But
so,
even then, it was like scratching and clawing.
Because I joke around with her about that. So
you know, and like as petty as this might sound, like I'll talk. A few years back, I talked to mom, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'll just throw in a dollar amount. I mean, it's not probably right, but she'll tell me like, oh well, I'm making, let's say $1,500 a week. I'm like, what?
Tax free.
Yeah. So then I'm thinking like. Okay, well, my mom can make $1,500. Well, fuck, why can't I? Mm-hmm. Why can't I?
Yeah.
You know, and not to compare my mom against my mom. No,
but that's just how they're raised, right?
Yes,
like,
but that was mom.
Little,
it's like, you see me do this, you need to do better.
Like you said, they challenge you indirectly.
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's how.
Yes.
And you never understood
as a kid,
until now. You know, well, I'm not saying now, but a couple of years ago when you're like, well, this is what y'all meant.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I mean,
and not necessarily like with just financials, but just the person that you are. Like, if you see me, what is one thing mom always says? What is? Si yo vine a este país sin hablar inglés y no sé qué más y yo pude hacer esto, a ver, ustedes por qué no pueden hacer mejor?
Ustedes están educados, saben el idioma.
That's where I preach myself about the whole excuses.
Yeah.
You know, I made them. Now I'm against them.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like I was like.
And so, why did you go against them, or what made you change your mentality then?
Against the excuses, my kids.
Yeah.
And then I mean, my kids. Kids, and thinking about the tomorrow.
You're trying to set them up for the future, right? You're trying to prepare them.
Because I mean, a good topic. When did our parents teach us about credit?
Never.
We weren't.
I guess I guess, do you guys know about credit better yet? You know, you think you know about it, right? But you know, everybody has their own definition of, I have good credit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, what if I have shitty credit but I have cash?
Well, unfortunately,
you can still move mountains with that shit. You really can.
No, but I'm saying, but it's a little bit harder. It's still okay.
No, lies. If you walk into a car dealership and they tell you they run your credit, you only have a 549. Okay, but I have $10,000 to give down. Okay, what car do you want?
Well,
it's as if you walked in with an 800.
But you're shooting yourself in the foot.
It is.
You're shooting yourself in the foot because those $10,000 ain't going to do anything.
I mean, you're talking about financials now, but I'm just saying, but you get the same respect.
But I'm saying, I mean, yes, but indirectly, that's where I go, you know.
Do you get fucked over? Yes, you do, because you don't have the credit, but you still get the same respect as you were walking in with 700.
Let's say you have an 800 beacon score. You have a 540. You don't need 10 grand to get the car, but you need 10 grand to get that car. But you're going to be paying $500 a month. You're going to be paying $800 a month.
Not necessarily, because if I am willing to give $10,000 down, that means that I have probably another $20,000 to pay that off.
Remember,
in the
right?
next years.
That's kind of how credit works, right? And that's what I'm saying. Everybody has their own definition of credit, right? Because as a bank, if you're giving me $10,000, then I feel comfortable giving you a good interest rate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
regardless of what your credit is at that point, but like
money talk,
if they have this much right now,
pero no me pegues.
Estoy pegando. Habla.
Joe.
Juan your huevos. Ándale. So then.
Joe.
So we were having a great conversation. It turned into fucking going
financials.
It turned into going to the dealership and buying a car.
Well, no, that's just it goes to show you how even though we were all raised together, we kind of have the same mentality. We each know something about something in a different manner because of our lifestyles.
No, and it's funny, you know, going back to what this was all about, you know, us, you know.
Yeah.
I've never had the, I guess until now, we talk more often. Even, I just call you to bullshit, you know.
Yeah, most of the time.
More often, like,
more often than what it was.
Y'all split or separate or whatever.
And then, you know, with Chavo's like, I try to call Chavo's like, where Chavo's like, damn, bro, you know, you talk is like real quick. You know, it's like,
Chago's
What do you want?
Chago's more like, wow, get to the point.
Yeah,
do you want? Yeah.
there's like, and I'm trying to like spark a conversation, but again, we spark a conversation, but we never talk about your relationship. We never talk about your problems. No, just what's catching up.
Why is that?
It goes back to what Naruto. We just don't do it.
Y'all don't do it. Y'all as guys, y'all don't want to do it. Look, as tedious
Because
as
as a man, you don't share
tedious-
your feelings.
I know, but as tedious as this might sound, I told Joe, I was like, you know what? Sometimes I feel like calling my brothers and be like, hey, do y'all want to get together for coffee? Just to bullshit with each other, right? Just
I
to
thought
take
about
you
it
away,
too.
just to take you away from your daily routine and then see your true like not your true person, but your person that I know of when you were a
Right,
kid.
right.
Your true colors.
But then you know how hectic it is to be able to get everybody together.
Well, but you got to remember, right? We actually made it work with those WhatsApp calls, right?
Yeah.
You know that it wasn't hard. Yeah,
Well,
we
it's-
were all
it's-
still doing our own thing, but we were still talking.
It's funny that you mentioned that because without that, we wouldn't be able to see our grandkids or show our kids.
Yeah.
You know, as much as we want to.
You got grandkids already?
I mean, not grandkids. I mean,
Mom's
No, dude, I'm
grandkids.
like, fuck.
I mean our
Yeah,
parents.
yeah, I'm just
So
fucking with you.
it goes, you know, to what she said is I forgot what I was gonna say.
I was just saying that sometimes,
Cut 'em
I
off.
mean, as petty as it sounds, like I think that sometimes getting together would actually be beneficial for us.
But you know, earlier you said, well, why don't you say anything? Why don't you say anything?
I do.
When?
I don't. Okay, here's the thing. Wait, before we get to that, wait a minute. When Mom starts telling me about, oh, es que tus hermanos esto y el otro, because I know my mom
Oh,
enough to
yeah,
like
moms
put my.
can be a little bit
she
dramatic
she puts
sometimes.
my little laundry out there too, and I don't. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care, but because I'm not perfect, all right.
Nobody is.
But when she starts telling me, I was, you know what I tell her, Mom, ¿para qué te preocupas? Ya son hombrecitos, son adultos, déjalos que hagan lo que quieran hacer. ¿Para qué te preocupas? ¿Te estás estresando tú? Ellos viven bien. Si los maltratan o los chingan en la casa, a ellos les gusta.
Stop
What did she tell Bobby?
But
Stop putting my
I-
What did she
secrets
tell
out
Bobby?
there.
What did she tell
Like, this is what I'm pensando. Si les gusta a ellos, Mom, a ti que te encante. Y déjalo así. You know? Because she'll tell me, and I'm like, Mom, I don't want to hear it.
You know, and
I don't. And the
Don't
thing
interrupt her,
I
asshole.
stopped myself.
And the other thing is that
right?
when I tried, you know, originally this podcast was for me. Just so you know,
shit.
okay? Siéntate. Okay. But you know, do I want to say certain things sometimes? Yeah, I do. But is it really gonna help?
Exactly.
Is it really gonna make a difference?
It's only gonna make things worse.
It's only gonna make friction between
Right.
us. So why do that?
Right. And you're right. But why not say, hey, let's have a Zoom call or WhatsApp call on Sunday nights. You know, everybody's free. Let's do this. Go to Mom's restroom.
Christian's doing the potty
Nah,
together
yeah,
now.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, it's just one of those, right? That it kind of goes to show how even though you're educated or not, you start making your own life. You start creating your own values for your own family. That they don't mesh with your siblings, right? And that itself is challenging.
What do you think?
Everybody has their own way of doing things, and we should respect one another and understand that, you know what, they're not gonna do it my way. They're gonna do it their own way.
Let them be.
That's it. Let it be.
But who's to say that we can't hear each other out?
I mean, do we really need to like call each other like that?
No, but I'm
I
saying
think
like
when
if
we
it's
call
a-
each other just to bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to how we were raised.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you don't share your feelings.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
Ve, lávate las manos, güey, no mames.
For real, bro.
I couldn't. Están pasando los carros.
Ponte en medio, güey, nadie te va a ver, güey.
No, pero si te hay una señora que who's this? Some ladies walking down.
Oh, they always walk.
Me cortó la inspiración.
Should have
¿Qué
turned
tal si
around.
eran las que trabajaban en el centenario?
Oh,
Cabrón,
damn
no.
it,
Y
bro.
les gustan lo que ven.
Hijos. güey.
Estoy casado.
Ah, smart man. Talking about
That don't
smart
stop them.
decisions.
I'm telling you, that don't stop
Pero
them.
yo sí le güey, estoy casado. Oh shit, I mean.
That would be a first. That would be a first.
your
All
hand
men,
up, boy. Put your
all
hand
men, do not do that. By the way, they're like, oh, she kissed me. I couldn't stop her. Oh, she jumped on it. I couldn't.
Hey,
get her
hold
off."
on. I'm gonna interrupt you here because somebody over here earlier was talking about exploring, and now she's judging us.
La sucia.
No, it's different when you're married. You
Oh,
can't be
really?
exploring while you're married. That's totally
You can
different.
look at the
but that's
menu,
what he's saying, though.
but you can't order.
No.
You can look at the menu, but you can't order.
Let me call your wife over here. She'll put you in your place in front of everybody.
Bring her.
Bring it.
But you know,
Corazón que no ve, o no, ¿cómo se dice?
Ojos que no ven,
Ojos que no ven,
sienten.
corazón que no
el
siente.
calzón bajado.
Oof.
Damn, nigga.
I was gonna say to the side, but all right. So you were gonna say? You forgot you were gonna say.
Ay, chingue su
I
madre.
already
Ya
know.
no le dan de tomar.
No, I'm gonna drink water now.
You've been drinking water the whole
I
night.
know, but flavor infused water.
If you
Infused water.
I guess I'm gonna ask all of y'all, right?
Uh-huh.
From each of y'all's perspective, how
No.
do y'all think everybody was raised differently?
We weren't raised differently. We were all raised alike.
Cutting up everybody.
It's not only me. It's
I mean,
not only me.
you
He
asked.
said
I mean,
everybody.
but we were all we were all raised alike, same values, and we just took a different path.
Yeah.
We chose our own ways of
Developing.
not developing, like interpreting what those
So
values were.
were. That's true. And what do you think? I guess we'll let Chago say because
Yeah, I was like,
I forgot what I was gonna say.
God damn
We'll
it,
let
boy.
Tenny go.
fucking Christian always, dude, he always fucking cuts everybody off. Dude, like every time he goes to my house, I can't ever get my point through.
Hey, can I get that comforter though?
Did you ever get there? The one you threw up on?
What about
can I
you
get
then?
that?
Dude, he threw up on that shit.
What is your perspective?
About what?
Cut her off. Cut her off. Corte.
Hey, le voy a quitar le voy a
This
quitar el
is-
twang.
I really
This is
think
my
that
sister.
that we like, I to a point that I like to what he said. I don't think that we were raised differently. I think we we're given the same foundation. I think we get influence as we grow up, and not and that influence does not necessarily mean it's a negative thing.
Yeah.
But we get influenced by who we marry. By now we see our family and now we start thinking differently, and or we start relating to what our parents taught us. So we start changing our mindset.
You get influenced by kids, having your own kids.
I mean, to an extent, and not necessarily like. I mean, my kid, I get after, and I always Chao hears me all this time, and you know, Chao's fucking been getting on my ass all
right,
fucking
exactly.
week
That's what I'm
long.
saying. You get influenced by having kids.
I don't know. I don't know if that is. I don't think that's exactly true.
Indirectly, you don't.
I don't
But,
see it
but
that
then
way.
the outcome is different. You know.
Well, what I mean by is you start getting influenced by kids is because he raises his kids one way, you raise your kids one way, he does it another.
But you know,
way.
when I raise my kids, as I'm raising my son, I'm not raising him like. I'm not thinking, oh well, this is what my parents did. This is what
Right.
worked, or what this is what didn't work. I'm thinking more like, how am I gonna build him for success? Okay, so one thing, right? I've decided that I'm gonna tell my child, whatever you want to be, as long as you're successful, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that includes a school degree.
And why is that, though?
And that has something to do with the fact that I went to school. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've seen people who be successful without a bachelor's degree, right?
Preach.
And I've seen people be successful with a bachelor's degree. I see people be successful with certificate. In my role that I do, I see all that, right?
Yep.
So then I see people who are not successful, right? They went to college, they obtained a bachelor's and a master's, and yet they earn $50,000 a year. And they have to pay for not tuition, but the student loans back.
I mean,
So then I'm thinking like, man, so they went to school, and this is me observing it from my role, you know, professional role, is they went to school, they tackle on $80,000 of student loan debt, earning $50,000 for the next 6 years, 7 years minimum, right?
You're still accumulating interest.
Exactly. And then do I want to set my child up for that? Yeah, let's say grandpa, I'm gonna say abuelito, you know, he at a point in time in his peak, he was earning like 20 something, $30 an hour as a welder, right? He could have been certified and probably got more, but even then I thought
you gotta
that was
remember,
good.
As a welder,
Yeah.
he got to travel to China, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm not even going as
Wait.
a welder. When he
That
interrupted
thing.
you. When he was being in the roofing business, dude was making $4 or $5 grand a week.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Back
right?
in the '90s, that was money.
Something
dude.
that you can do.
We were getting.
We had a good life.
Yeah.
We had some nice shoes.
We
We had some
we
good
had no
food.
complaints.
We would
Yeah.
eat out pizza and across the street
That was for different
So-
reasons, but yeah.
So seeing that and experiencing that from being raised and then from my role that I do now, you know, I want to teach my son, no matter what you do, you just be successful.
You work hard.
Exactly.
Right?
You work hard.
Because Joe's about work hard. So if
Yeah.
you don't work hard, he's going to get after you.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, my husband doesn't have a bachelor's degree, but thank God he has been successful in what he does, you know?
His mentality is a hustle mentality,
Yeah.
right? He's like, whatever it is I need to do, I'm going to do so I can
Yeah.
make me and make my family successful.
Going back to-
Exactly.
To I was having a conversation with him earlier. He's like, "What are you doing, yo?" I was like, "Well, I always had to go pick up some work and have it ready for Monday because I'm gonna work on Monday, you know."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Well, why?" I was like, "Because I mean, I'm chasing the money.
yeah.
If I can do it, if there's an opportunity, I'm gonna chase it.
yeah.
Because at the end, it's like you said, what's my limit? I don't have a limit.
Yeah. I think you
If-
yourself own your own limit.
If I can make, and you're interrupting who?
No, see, yo te-
So and it goes back to the you know, sky's the limit. Fortunately, in my line of business, I can make as much money as I want, but that depends me committing to a lot. You know?
Right.
But it's one of those where I want it, so I'm gonna get it. And do I want to teach my kids that? Yes, but at the same time, there's other ways of doing it without busting your ass that
Yeah.
much, you know. So it's like you're in a damn if you do, damn if you don't.
What about you, Jack?
I said it a while ago.
Repeat it.
That everybody has their own way of being like measuring success.
Yes.
You know, there's no one set way, and like if you think you're successful, that's all that counts. Because you can't measure what other people want to think about it. Because if not, you're never gonna achieve it. They're always gonna implement something else to make it.
Everyone's
successful.
success is different. I agree.
And
I agree with that.
And it goes back to the success. Before you tell us your perspective, I think that our parents, the way they measure success is not how much money it's in a bank account, but how their kids are doing.
That is a solid point. That is,
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally, like Joe would say, that's fact. You know, to them, that's how they measure their success based on us, right? And to them, they're successful, right? To them, they go back to their hometown and they talk about us, right? They have a son who has his own business, home appliances, a daughter, HR manager, you know, a teacher, and then an engineer. That to them, they're done.
So it's
just
so it goes back to me personally. My decisions are based on them sometimes, because you got to think like, dude, they did shit without nothing. Mm-hmm. Why can't I?
Literally
What she
nothing,
said.
right?
What she said. So it goes back to my business, kind of like what Dad was doing. But obviously, back in days, and we all do mistakes. We all do shit different. I mean, I
figure it out.
I told Dad before, you know, you did this. You were young when you started a family. There's no guide. There's no guide for
25.
No, he was
No.
18.
No, like, yeah,
he was 18.
When you started a family,
Why?
How old are you right now?
33.
How old is Dad? 55?
He was born 64.
When were you born?
86.
86.
64. What was that?
No,
30
mom.
years?
20 years.
Mom was 18,
Mom was 18
when
she
she
had
got
me.
you.
Yeah.
So then 4 years later, she was
That was
22.
22. God damn, that's true.
So, and there's no guide into what you do, you know?
As a 22-year-old here, you're barely graduating college, right? You're supposed to be graduating college.
Do you want more?
So him, Dr. Charles, you.
Fucking whispering, the mic's gonna pick that up.
Calm down, just
So it is one of those where, you know, that's where I think success is. Like you say, I mean, it doesn't matter the money. You know?
I mean, think about it from mom and dad's perspective.
I'll tell you what I just told him. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it goes
Okay,
to me. It's
sorry, I
like
just stepped away for a pee break.
that mom and dad don't measure their success how much money they have in their bank account. They measure their success and how their kids are doing in life.
But that's like coming, and I, yes and no.
I'm not saying it in a bad way, you know.
No, I'm just saying that yes and no because one, yes, we are first generation here, so they're gonna see that, but they're also compared to what their friends are making and where they're from. I mean, mom and dad are successful.
But you got to remember, some like immigrants, like mom and dad, right? To them, their kids didn't go to school,
Yeah.
and so they don't see them as successful because they didn't mesh into the system, the
Yeah.
American system, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, if you look at them, they probably have a good life.
Yeah.
You know, they have a comfortable life. They're
course.
providing for their family. but just because they didn't go to school, they didn't get a degree, they're not successful, which is not true. You know.
Yeah. Did you give your answer already? Did I miss that?
No.
Oh.
What do you think?
I mean, I kind of piggyback on everybody, right? It was just. Why are you giving me that look?
Because I don't think you're being honest. You're not going to
Honest
hurt
how?
anybody's feeling. I want you to be honest, like direct.
Well, I mean,
What do
my
you really
honesty
think?
is like everybody's success is different.
Yeah.
Everybody, like I've always said, I've gone through. I guess me personally, right? I've gone through the educational system. I'm in the professional industry, and you know, sometimes you see some professionals that you're like, no way did you fucking deserve that degree. You know, and it's reality.
Yeah.
You know, you just you knew somebody or you knew people that helped you get through it, and then just because, for lack of better words, in the American culture, you knew somebody that could get you into the company, then that's why you had that opportunity. You didn't deserve that opportunity. You didn't work for that opportunity, but
It's who you knew.
right. In our case, it was you work hard to get an opportunity. It wasn't given to you just to get the interview. You know, just to this is just my eyes, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't measure success.
No.
You know, okay, you're in this company because it was given to you. Doesn't make you successful. You know, what makes you successful is what do you make with that opportunity? You know, what do you make with it with what you were given?
What do you have to show for it? Yeah.
Right.
Well, to me, it's not what you have to show for it. To me, it's like I measure success as one is like, what can my kids build off of what I made? Where can I leave my kids once I'm gone from this world?
Yeah.
That's where I think I can measure my success. Because if I can leave them where they go to school, per se, or they start a business without any debt, and they're kind of ahead of everybody in that perspective, to me, that's success.
Right.
You know, because they're not having to fight or struggle or having to worry about making that payment on that loan or on that student debt.
Or
Right.
in depth. Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, that's where it stands.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those. I guess I'm fortunate to be in a situation where I can help others that are Hispanic, you know, graduating from an engineering degree, and they're like, "Hey, can you help me out some way somehow get into the industry?" You know, and it's like, you know, just if anybody ever needs a reference or whatever, I tell them, I was like, you know, unfortunately, the way this industry works is if you don't know somebody, you won't get in there. If you need a reference, use me. You know, that's the least of my worries. You know,
Yeah.
because this is just speaking in my industry, is they take the value of a professional engineer, right? They're like, oh, well, this guy's licensed. You know, I'm gonna respect his reference more than somebody else who doesn't have their license,
Yeah.
type thing, right? But that's just me knowing how the system works and trying to help somebody out and get into the industry, and hopefully, you know, kind of one of those, like, you pass it down. I helped you, you help somebody else down the road type thing.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. We go back to my brother-in-law. So he's an engineer now, right? But he was always thought that, oh, I can do it on my own. I mean, we had this conversation. I can do it on my own. I can do this on my own. And it's like, dude, no. Unfortunately, whether you got a degree or don't, you got to know somebody to get into what you want. Take it to me. I don't have a degree, but to get my line of business, I got to know somebody that can give me a contract.
Right.
Without that, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know? So we go back to him as like, dude, you got to talk. You got to do this. You talk to him. You know?
I've tried.
So it's one of those where he is, I guess, cockiness in a certain amount of way, you know?
Yeah, well, no, I want to say cockiness. It's that the mentality that we were raised up to. You figure it out on your
Not
own.
even the mentality. To me, it's cockiness because it's like, yes, you can think you're Ren and Stimpy, you're going to take over the world.
But I guess, were you raised to ask for help?
No.
Exactly. So you have to figure it out on your own.
But we go back to, yes, in most cases. But you have somebody here that, again, he's lucky enough to have references
Yeah.
that he can use, that he can use to his advantages, you know?
That was not me.
That was not, that he can use to his advantages, but
That would put you on blast.
I know, right?
Everybody.
but
But it wasn't me.
But you don't use them.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what you're saying, you know. So it's you got to know somebody, do something. Degree, no degree.
You gotta know somebody to know
Not,
somebody.
not necessarily.
Tú eres sucia, no les.
Well, and the other option is hard work. But I guess it's kind of one of those. If you know somebody, you're already 2 steps ahead. If you're working hard, you're
Not necessarily.
why not?
Because I can tell you that I work hard to get where I'm at, right? And then eventually I got to a point where I'm like, well, I know I lie. I've never been to a point where it's I know somebody. It's always been like, okay, this is my experience shows for itself, right? And then you start building something. And then so I went from Texas to Arkansas. Now I live in a state where I have no contacts, like none whatsoever. No
a good
network,
example.
no nothing.
Yeah.
So it's not who I know. It's what I know. You know? So and then starting in that part, I mean, in Arkansas, I mean, I'm really a minority. I truly am a minority.
Preach.
You know, it's
It's a hillbilly.
it was
Yeah,
it was
I think you're gonna have to share that experience you had actually.
reality check.
Let the listeners know how much of a minority you really are
So
out there, right?
okay, so I will share with you on that. So
It's a hillbilly.
I you know, I mean, no secret, but you know, my son, we are
No, you can't say.
we are, you know, growing our family.
She doesn't say names.
Yeah, no, as long as I
okay,
don't say names,
gotcha.
but I can explain the process.
Okay.
So we are legally adopting our son. So the exciting part is that he's already with us. So
Great
he,
kid, by the way. Love the kid.
we are meeting, right? Where part of this process is that we have to interact with him several visits. And he is, at that time, was in a town, really small town where, I mean, it's mostly, you know, white people.
Yeah.
So we drive up to the area where there's our meat spot, and I'm pulling up, and they have a food drive going on. I've never ever have experienced this type of. I didn't. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know what racism was.
Keep
because-
in mind, my sister is the most proper spoken out of all of us.
Yes, yes, I am. Believe it or not, I am.
Yes.
So I've never experienced racism, right? And so I pull up to the parking lot, and I'm like, wow, there's a really long line. That's unusual. So okay, we get in line, come up, and it's a white lady, and she says to me, "Are you here for the food drive?" I said, "No, ma'am. I'm actually here to meet for an appointment that I have." And she said, "I'm sorry, I don't speak Mexican."
Just flat out like that.
Yeah, just like that.
And literally,
Yes.
the way you just said it right now was no accent.
No,
Perfect
no.
English type thing, right?
Yes, crystal clear as it could be, right?
Yeah.
And I no Texas twang, nothing.
Yeah,
like
it
I'm
was
just
just
like I'm here
professional
for an
manner type
appointment.
thing, yeah.
Yes, and she said, "I'm sorry, I don't speak Mexican." I was like, "Bitch."
No.
No,
You didn't say
I didn't
bitch.
say bitch.
In your
but
mind,
I just
in
looked
your
at her,
mind.
right? Like, no. So let
she
me tell y'all.
froze. She froze,
Let me tell
right?
y'all. When y'all experience that, as much as you prepare yourself mentally, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell her this and
Yeah.
that and that." When it happens,
You can't. Yeah, you don't.
dude, you go into this mode and you're like, this shit really happened? This shit really just happened? This shit really just happened, right? So here I am, and I'm looking at her like, no, this didn't happen. So, and she's like, so are you here for the food drive or not? And I said, no, I'm not. She's like, then you need to go the other way. So I was upset. Finally,
I
we
would have
got.
still taken some food. I'm just saying.
You should have
No.
spoken to her in Spanish.
So I mean,
Not
I
that
should
way.
have, but
But you don't think of that moment.
You
You-
don't.
you
You really
don't.
don't. As much as you prepare yourself
it shocks
mentally,
you.
yeah, it takes you out of your whole day. Just
Yeah,
goes,
it just
what?
goes
Did this
to
shit
whack.
really happen? Yeah. So, anyways, that happened, and then that's how I had my reality check, and I was like, okay, now I know I am a minority in a state where there's minorities,
Right.
right? I mean, to the point where you go to the DMV, and Latino or Hispanic is not an option.
Damn.
Not even another.
So hard work literally goes to a whole nother level.
Yes,
for you guys,
it does. It
Yeah,
does.
Joe's black
You-
in Arkansas.
yeah.
Well, no,
Poor-
but I'm saying because
my-
to them, they got to where they're at because of hard work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here in the States, I guess not in the States, here in Texas, they respect that.
Yes.
But when you go to another state like that, it's like,
You're starting.
it amplifies. Like, hard work.
Yes.
No, I mean,
really have to.
there's racism everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
The way I experienced a couple of times. We experienced it when we went to Jasper. Remember?
Yeah.
Jasper, Texas.
Oh, but Jasper, Texas.
Yeah,
is
but we went in,
Jasper,
dude. I've
Texas.
never done a job in 15 minutes in my life to that day.
Yeah, that you're talking about a 3-piece, right?
Yeah.
So
Y'all were
that's
together?
refrigerator.
You were there?
No. That was just a range, a hood, and a dishwasher, dude. I got there at 5 o'clock. We left there at 5:14, out because we met a guy.
What happened?
So I went up to do a job, and dude, you're driving into the town,
Keep going.
into the town, and
3 hours.
All right, cool.
and you start. That's when Obama got elected. All right.
2008. No?
So you
12?
no.
Yeah, 8.
Re-election or
No.
8.
No,
Because he went 8 to
like-
12, 12 to 16.
So we're driving by. Do you see a black mannequin on one side with the Confederate flag shot up, like literally bullets? Then nothing but Confederate flags on that street. So we're like, fuck. So then a guy approaches like, hey, what do I do? He's like, well, I'm here to do a job. He's like, do you have a gun? I was like, no. He's like, well, you better leave here before dusk. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you don't see your surroundings. I was like, that's when it kills like shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll make sure I leave by then. I told this dude, let's go.
Dude.
I don't remember if I did the job right or not.
Yeah.
they don't joke.
we
They
just-
don't joke.
You know
No.
what's crazy though? I guess I won't say. I guess I've been fortunate that I'm in a professional world, right? That I've never experienced that.
Now, my
Like,
other experience was at freaking Dillard's at the Galleria. I went up there looking to buy something. The lady's like, the sales section is over there, or you can go to the other store that sells your type of clothes.
well, you had the same issue with mom. No, didn't you take a purse out there to the gallery in Dillard's?
Yeah.
To the Louis Vuitton store, right?
To the Louis Vuitton store.
And what they tell you?
The Galleria. They're like, oh, we don't service these bags here. Like, you got to take it to where you bought it. I'm like, oh.
And the crazy thing is that this
Oh, was that
bag
Louis
was bought
Vuitton?
by mom's bosses, and these people were wealthy, right?
Yeah.
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 But just because of your skin color, they were like,
Yeah.
no way can you afford
Well,
that.
we went to the store to buy my wife a purse,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't get it. They didn't approach us. What do you need help? Nothing, because of our skin color.
Yeah.
You see a white couple come in and they jumped on them like they were freaking,
And here you were ready to throw $5,000 easily.
seriously.
Like,
So I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm taking my business to Burberry. And we get into there and they're like, what do you need? I want this, let's go.
Yeah.
So it was like, you experience stuff like that. I was like,
So I guess, but we're on racism. What are you gonna teach your kids about it? I guess how can you teach your kids about it?
I think for us,
That's tough.
But for us here in Texas, I think it's a little bit easier. But for her being Arkansas,
Yeah.
it'd be a little bit different.
I mean, for us, Joe and I have talked about it. We were talking to. He said, "Well, what do you do when you pick up your son and your son says, Mom, they call me a name and they bleep whatever name it is." And really, I mean, I told Joe, as stupid as it sounds, I was like, you know what, babe, I'll probably cry. Because you don't ever want your child to go through that. But then you want to tell them, kick their ass.
Educate them.
Yeah, you use your hands, son.
Yeah.
But you probably, but Joe said, let's be realistic. That's not going to happen. So what are you going to tell him? So we both agreed that the best thing that we can tell our child is, use your words. Use your words to be able to come back at it.
Yeah.
And show them differently. I mean, that's what we say now. That may be different if we ever were to encounter that. But it's tough. Like, how do you explain to your child that happens?
Not that your kids are both white.
Well, yeah, they are, right? And I guess that's a blessing and a curse, right?
Heard how?
Because they don't look brown?
Unfortunately, there's that racism in between our own culture.
Well,
My wife has experienced it, right? She's white complected, and they start talking shit in Spanish, and she was like, "Perdón," clear Spanish, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we fucked up," right? Type
Yeah.
thing. And they're gonna experience that, right? And so, how do you teach them? It's a different thing when you teach them about racism from other races, but whenever it's your own kind, it's like,
you want to hear something like, to me, it's a little bit deep between my kids. My son's lighter than my daughter. Mm-hmm. My daughter, my wife was brushing her hair,
And they're twins.
and they're twins. Mm-hmm. And she told my wife, "Why is Leo lighter than me?" What's what's the difference?
jeez.
So
She hasn't experienced
she hasn't
anything.
experienced any of that.
She
But she
noticed
just
this,
said
right?
the colors.
As what, 8, 9-year-old?
No, this is at 4 years old.
At 4 years.
So what do you answer to that? We're like,
How did you answer that?
luckily, I'm saying luckily, my wife had to answer, not me.
So what did she say?
You can ask her. I don't remember what she said. I'm not gonna
Okay.
sit here and lie to you.
Yeah.
I could, but that
No, it's
was
okay.
what I believe.
That just goes with what you said earlier.
So it's like at that age, and just like you said, it just in our culture.
Yeah.
What do you answer to that? I mean, I could have been like, Mama, God put you in the oven a little bit longer than what you needed to, But
That's a
Joking
good
around,
way, yeah.
but it's one of those where
yeah.
you want to give them a rightful answer.
Dile que porque juega mucho soccer, güey.
Who just said it right now? Even in our own culture, there's racism.
Well, yeah, because I know his friend at Nadine, right? Whenever we first started, she flat out said, like, our own culture is literally, they root against it. It's like, why?
Well,
Like,
think about it. We live here in the States, right?
we
and,
live
and
here,
we complain
yes.
about racism, right? Because white people are racist against us. But when our
Don't
culture-
just single out white people.
Well, I'm just saying in
Well,
general.
all
I'm
races are,
okay.
yeah.
But when we go to Mexico, and I'm just saying in culture in general, we make fun of the people that live in the los indígenas.
Not me.
No,
I'm always like, can
but
we
I'm
eat their
saying- I'm
food?
saying in general.
We were raised different.
No,
so
no, I'm not.
Careful how you say we.
Well, I'm not saying we. I'm just saying this culture-wise.
Oh, okay.
We go and we make fun of them. We're like thinking of them less, and that's racism.
So we Mexicans.
The culture, the
Culture.
culture within themselves.
But
right?
even with Mexico, you see your light skin and then you see your dark skin.
That's
What
what
the
I'm
light
saying.
skin
Yeah.
frowns upon the dark skin. Like, oh, those are the people who are gonna help you. Those are your helpers. Not necessarily. That's something that Joe tries to explain to his team in Arkansas is that, you guys think it's racism white on color, but even in our country of Mexico, it's within our own people.
Yeah.
And we're all fucking Mexican. So what difference does it make, right?
I mean, I remember when we were talking to moms, like on one of the second episode, whatever it was. She flat out said the white man helped me more. I'm not saying men in general, right?
Yeah.
But like men, like female
Man,
and
yeah.
male, right? They were more kind and they were more open to helping me out.
Yeah.
Than the Hispanic I guess I'll say Hispanic, right? Because it varies, but they were more open to help me out, to help me become successful, because the Hispanic wanted to hold me down. It's just, what do you do then?
And a Latino will, I'm sorry to say, but it's true. Your Latino will not come up to you and say, "Hey, good job. Keep doing a great job."
It goes to there's this. I would say that analogy maybe, but there's this fisherman that he's catching crabs, and on one side he has
Cochino.
I'm gonna use white, white crabs here, and he doesn't have a lid covered. I mean, he has the lid covered up,
Yeah.
and then on this side he has nothing but, I'm gonna use Mexicans, but the lid is not covered, and they ask him, why do you cover these but not these? And they're like, well, because these white ones, they're gonna help each other get out, but these Mexicans here, if one's going on top, the other one's gonna pull him down because he doesn't want to see him up there.
Yeah, dude. I
You know,
fucking hate
it's
that.
so
That is
true.
a fucking great example, dude. No bullshit. Like,
So I mean,
even the worst thing, it happens. I'm not saying specifically to us. It happens in between families.
Yes, we can't ever see each other's success, and not only that, but we can never recognize it.
Right.
It takes so much to say, you know what? I'm proud of you.
Right.
I'll give you
they have a good truck. Vende drogas.
I'll give you a perfect
sell
example.
drugs?
Right.
I'll give you a perfect example today, in the soccer aspect. So I'm the firm believer that if my son loses or he's good, so he lost to a good team where they made too many mistakes. Typical Hispanic parents were there.
What was the final score?
2-0.
Oh,
So my son played a badass game.
that was the
second-
first
the
one. The
second
first
game.
game.
The
The
second
first
game.
one, they lost 2-1 because it's his fault.
2-1?
It's his fault, yes. His fault. So we're there like, no, es que nosotros perdimos porque, cometimos errores atrás y todo, but it's like, give the other team props. They did good. They were there on point and they were doing what they were supposed to.
You didn't have your shit together.
Yeah. So and that's where we were walking, and I wanted to say something. I was like, just mind your own business, walk away. Your son did good, but it goes back to that. We can never give props when somebody does good. And back to what you said, you have a brand new truck, you sell drugs. You guys,
Do you?
you sell drugs.
You sell?
All day.
And
Okay.
it goes back to where we
I got
need-
gripe
we-
water.
so-
I got.
Gripe water.
Kids
Call you up at 281-330-8004.
It goes back to when we think of success. If you asked me 5 years ago, to me being successful was I was switching cars every 2 years.
But
You were.
That was my thing. That was me being
And
showing
you're
everybody.
piling up every.
but
Every
can
day.
you can you sit around? Can you sit and turn and look at your brother or your sibling and say, "Hey, I'm proud of you."
Yes.
Yes.
I definitely can.
I
I
can.
want, no
I can.
doubt. You know,
I can.
we
What
all,
about you?
I mean, I don't ever hear her
Oh,
say
shit, we
that.
fucked up.
I don't, honestly, that's why I'm asking. I've never
When he graduated,
I've
I was
never
like,
heard
"Yo,
her
I'm
say
proud
that.
of you." Same thing.
And that's the cool thing about it is our I guess what was gonna be our next guest, right? That was one thing he said. It was like, well, why did you tell your brother these things? And it's just I told him I was like, we weren't raised like that. We weren't raised to
But
give
just
each other
because we
props.
weren't raised that way, that doesn't mean we can't be
Well,
that
yeah,
way.
but when you're raised, I guess I'll say 18, right? 18 years in a household thinking this way, you can't switch into.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
How?
Break the cycle.
You do different. Yeah, you're doing different now
But I get
with
what
other
he's-
things.
I get what he's saying because the way we were raised, the way Dad raised us is like if you show emotion, that's a sign of weakness, especially with Mom.
As a
You show
man,
emotion, that's signs of. If you cry, you're weak. You're not supposed to cry.
this from a male perspective, right? It's probably.
Oh my gosh,
for me,
maybe
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and this is again we'll go back to the whole culture thing. Men don't cry. Even your mom will tell you you're a man. You're not supposed to cry. They can hear me. I'm talking loud.
Okay.
You can cry.
So it goes back to that, unless something is different. And to women, I guess is different. I mean, you can tell us your perspective on that.
I have no perspective. Anyway, so you were saying?
As a woman, you don't have a voice in this household.
You got bullshit. Let me put you in your place right now. Right now.
And it's funny because it's cool that we got your perspective because I was talking, Paula and I were talking to some friends last week, and shout out to Leslie and Vane. They were like, "No, we can't be on there." Like I wouldn't know what to say, right? And so I started asking questions, and next thing you know, they started opening up, and I was like, "There you go. You have something to say.
Yeah.
You just don't want to say it."
Yeah.
So it's cool to get a female's perspective because they were raised different than how we were raised.
Yeah.
We see things differently. We were raised to do the manly things. And that one of those things being is you don't share expressions, you don't share emotions, you don't share a lot of things. You keep things to yourself and you figure it out.
It's funny you say that when you said that Mom actually pushed you to get out of here because you weren't going to do anything here.
Mm-hmm.
My mother-in-law was completely opposite with my wife. My wife wanted to go to UCLA. That was her dream school. And my mother-in-law, you're not supposed to go. You're not going to go there. I mean, she can tell you. I can call her and she can tell you that story.
Yeah.
So it's two different, same culture, two different.
Right.
So it's like, what do you do then? And that's where if my daughter decides she wants to go out of state, as much as it's gonna hurt me, go for it. I'm not gonna. hold
Why
you
is it
back.
going to hurt you?
Financially.
Well, not only that, just my daughter being, that father. To me, I think I'm more closer to my daughters than I am to my son.
Tough love.
Tough love.
Tough love.
Tough love.
So
And we were talking about that with Joey,
and
right?
it's funny because I can get after my son like hardcore, but my daughter, so I'd be like smooth it out a little bit better, Even though I think she understands it better than he does, but
Well, they do say girls understand things faster than boys.
Yes,
do,
we
right?
do. We mature quicker than
Yeah,
you guys
there you
do.
go.
That's
Y'all
the
can't
way,
get y'all shit right quick
Yeah, but
enough.
you're
All right, I don't know about you, but all right.
Ask Joe who approached him.
Can we
I
call
did.
Early-
I did.
If he wants
I
to
knew
come,
what
yeah.
I wanted. I knew what I wanted. He was too busy still fucking
Babe.
around. Babe.
Hey,
we're about to bring Babe back into the picture,
Even
right?
earlier, I said, I went ahead and approached you.
Babe.
It's because I was afraid of commitment. What?
Oh,
What?
damn it,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. So he was the
I'll
one who
give up
said
my
it.
chair.
Yeah. Hey, babe.
babe, come here.
We're about to bring Babe,
Yeah.
aka Joey,
Babe.
back by popular demand.
But yeah, he y'all don't ever make up y'all's mind. Y'all still too busy dancing around the shit.
I'll be the first one to admit it. I was definitely fucking around in my
Hey,
20 years.
Babe.
In my early 20s, I was definitely fucking around. Did I know
So
what I
was
wanted?
I. So was I. But you still didn't want to commit.
What is fucking around them crazies?
I was doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing.
Hey,
You know,
come here, come here.
Babe.
I was.
Come here. Wait, we have a question. We have a question.
Talking to your parents is a pretty good topic we have.
Oh, okay, y'all
Okay,
keep going.
whatever.
on.
Bye.
We'll come back. We'll come
Whatever.
back.
And you know
We'll
what?
come back.
This is the cool thing that I'm appreciating about our podcast is that we're making not only us, but we're making people talk about things that they normally wouldn't talk about. Like I
Yeah.
said, we were with some friends last weekend, and I don't care if you're judging about COVID because we were taking our safety measures. But
We were 6 feet apart, but we were still.
but the cool thing about it is that they were like, dude, yes, I fucking agree with you. And the thing that pisses me off is like, well,
Then
why
why
don't you
don't you
fucking
say it?
comment?
Yeah.
You know, drop some fucking knowledge, say
Yeah.
something. Because everybody has their own story. Everybody has their
I mean,
upbringing.
it's not easy talking about it because
It's
even
definitely
before I
not.
came here, I was like, "Fuck, what are we gonna talk about? Oh, am I gonna have to talk about this? Am I gonna be put on the spot? You know?" But at the end of the day, I just thought, it wouldn't be real if I wasn't my true self.
Right.
You know, so
And I was gonna say that
Yes.
as
no,
Mexicans,
not even.
well,
Without
maybe
the
as
alcohol.
a Mexican man, you need some alcohol.
No, I was like, not
courage.
me. You can ask
and
me,
I'll
and
be
I'll
honest
tell
with you. Like even when you try to dance, a couple of these,
I mean,
will
tell-
make you the best dancer out there. You know?
Tell my wife. My wife's the first one that says, "Give him 6 beers and 2 shots, and he's an okay dancer."
Yeah, you
he's
don't make him the
I was
best.
gonna say,
When you said he was like, he's fucking okay.
you getting personal, I think.
No,
Like
but
that.
it's true. I mean, sometimes you need to have that to just let it go. No filters.
Right, and that's what we're trying to do here, right? Is letting people know,
I don't
like,
like you.
we are.
You don't
who we
even tell
are.
me that though. You can't even tell me that if you like me or you don't. Sorry.
I just got interrupted right now.
You got the pickup.
Dude, when you talk to Christian, anytime you have Christian involved in a conversation, just know that you will be interrupted.
You know the cool thing about families that there is a lot of personalities,
Yes.
and the coolest thing is that some way somehow you make it work, but you don't realize it until you sit back and think about it.
That is true. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
he's talking shit about you, dude.
No, I'm saying like.
That's what I call respect.
Like you have your own thing, he has his own thing, he has his own thing.
What do we
I have
have?
my
What
own
is our
thing.
own thing? Can you please go
We're
down
all
the list?
different in different aspects.
Okay,
But
you
we're,
tell us.
We're still able to go ahead and get along and respect each other,
How are
even
we
though
all
we have
different?
different views.
How are we all different? Tell me.
We have different
no,
views.
no. I want you to go
From
down
your
the list.
perspective.
Yes, from your
Maybe
perspective.
like from your perspective, how do you see us different?
Perspective.
How are we different?
Please excuse my Mexican brother.
we just have
That's racist.
we just have different ways of viewing things.
Okay, how do you see us?
No, like things that come up.
No, I know.
Situations.
We're over that, but
How
I
do you
want
see
you to
us?
tell us, how do you see us? I want to know
I
everybody's
see y'all with
perspective.
my eyes. Well, I have glasses right now, but
Cuatro ojos.
Pero a ver, ¿tú qué piensas de nosotros?
Hoy la otra.
in what regards?
And then in
general,
any
just
regards,
in
yeah.
general.
Why can't you just spill it?
Spill it. Spit it. No, don't spit it. Just spill it.
That I'm proud of y'all, just like I'm proud of Nato.
I don't like that dude.
Like-
He's not here right now. Don't tell him.
You've managed to make it work out, you know. Managed to start a family, live together. No, we all did it differently, but we're still making it.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
what I mean.
true. Well said. What about you?
We're like wrapping this up or what?
No, I'm asking. I'm
I was
asking
about
because
to
we
say.
never. Let's be honest. We never sit down and say this about us. We always assume we're always on the go. We're always like, oh, I gotta go here. I gotta go there. We
gotta
never
go
sit
to
down and
soccer
actually
practice.
talk about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what is your perspective on this?
I don't like you.
I know you don't, but say it.
You're sucia.
Y luego?
Te voy a
My
regalar
perspective
jabón
is
para-
I need another beer.
Espérate. Era sucia, no soy.
Oof. Can I get another beer, please?
Yeah, me too.
So then tell me your perspective.
Why do y'all want to share perspectives? Just say, lay it out there. Lay it out there.
Yeah, it's because we never say each other's
Right.
perspective.
Oh, give me your perspective about everybody. Yeah, but
Oye, ya no hay.
Joey, we need more beer.
Vince!
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't taste it.
espérate, you're supposed to talk.
A ver, tú, you didn't finish
Espérate que
it.
llegue para que le digas sus verdades. I don't like him, but
Chavo
you said
didn't
so.
tell him his verdades.
I know. he's-
There's no beer.
Yes.
Yo, say what's that time?
No, right up.
Oh, we have beer. Okay, I can put it in the cooler if you want.
Oh, okay, cool.
Last time this happened, we had like a whole 1 hour,
Brought these for now.
a whole 1 hour of shit that we don't remember what we were talking about.
You got to remember, right? My sister requested this. That's why we're drinking this.
That is a lie. That is a lie, guys. They like Michelob.
Oh, fuck
Era
that.
la mejor.
There goes Joey.
No man,
We'll
Joey.
probably have to get him on a call because I don't know when's the next time we'll have him in person.
I don't know, it'll be a while. But then again, I don't
We
know.
got to do a Zoom call with Joey.
We can definitely do that. We got the setup to do that with.
So then, perspective?
Le preguntaste. Oh.
No, I asked you.
No, you.
Besides the fact that you say that you
you
hate
walked
me.
away. What are you about to
What
say?
is your? Oh wait, no. Chago said that he's very proud of all of us that we've been able to do.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, and that's kind of what one of our listeners, Kingy, right? Shout out to Kingy, Edward, right? He was telling us like, what's one thing you would tell your brother or your siblings that you haven't told them, right?
I was like, he's got a sister.
That's why I went to siblings.
Okay.
We
Equality.
treated you like a brother.
I know
growing
y'all
up,
did.
so-
Y'all were dicks.
But
So then,
perspective is just that
You're welcome.
you know the cool thing is that everybody has their own thing, right?
just spit it out, Junior.
Well, I'm getting there.
Today.
Yeah, just get her off. She got Mike.
The cool thing is like you are more of the tell me how it is and tell me what I need to do, but you learned that from Joey.
No, no, you fucking didn't do.
Yo.
You just gave him credit for my being no.
You asked for perspective,
No,
respect.
no, wait. Is that is
Dude, what the fuck? She's like,
no. You because he gave credit for Joe for me for my being. Y'all no
Because
way.
your way of being, or your way of thinking changed because of
My
him.
way of being is how has always been the
que te
same.
diga él, let him
That thing.
talk.
I'm being Christian right now. My way of being has always been the same, but y'all have never actually tried it. Y'all have always been. And
But why do you want to try it? Everybody has their
y'all
own way
have
of
never
doing
actually
something.
tried to know me because y'all have been still developing yourselves. And
That's
the next,
true.
the last,
No, you're right.
The
'Cause
last
even
3-4
Joey
years.
last time said it, right? It's like the cool thing about Nato, he's coming out now, like to the person he is, right?
Because you
not
got
gay,
into
but I'm
college
just
and
saying.
then you got married, right? And then by the time I
Yeah.
came back into the picture, I'm like, oh shit, well he's married. What do I know? And then you have kids, so now we're barely starting to
Reconnect.
Reconnect.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think you gave me credit. You gave me credit for Joe's being. That's not Joe's work. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I think all right. So the perspective I have, right, started from sister and down how we are is just.
just think about
So,
it. Ya no la
no,
quiero
yeah,
escuchar. Just
but
think about what
you made who you are through your hard work, right? You taught yourself, you immersed yourself into the culture further than all of us did, right?
You paved your own path.
Yeah.
okay.
through Joey.
And the cool thing is that what we haven't said is that you learn something by going to work with mom, right?
Yeah.
You saw wealthy people. You were like, and you took that to heart. And you were like, I'm gonna be them.
Yeah.
I'm not. And no offense to mom, right?
No,
But
no,
you
no.
weren't. I'm not gonna be in mom's shoes. I'm gonna be in the owner's shoes. Kind of how Chao said it earlier,
Yeah.
right? And that's the cool thing about it is that you literally immerse yourself, and that's why I said earlier, you're the most well spoken out of all of us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That is true.
Christian,
Hasta en español.
he had his own thing, right? You know, being an immigrant. And no offense, dude, that's the cool thing.
You alien.
That's the cool thing about it is that he was an immigrant, so he had to work probably harder than all of us, right?
Yeah.
You know, kind of how you say, like, it wasn't easy.
Were you allowed to work?
Were
wasn't.
you
wasn't.
authorized to work?
You know, as a 17-year-old, he was questioning why
You
can I
were
get
my
my
favorite brother,
license?
not no
It didn't
more.
make sense to him.
No, it
but-
didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Because I don't even think we knew.
and think about it. So 17 years old, no license, wondering why I can't have a license, but now to have his own business to provide for his
Yeah.
family, that's pretty
You
fucking
Jimmy,
badass.
yeah.
You know, it's like
You
damn, dude,
fought
like,
through the odds.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, and then you have Chavo here. He's a quiet one, peacemaker.
Now you got papers, no?
Chago's not always quiet though. Chago's not always quiet. For some
Right.
reason, he
Well,
pretends to be
the funny thing
quiet.
about Chao, I don't know if you mentioned it before. He used to be quiet,
Oh yeah, back in his days.
Yeah, we
So-
tell you how you got in trouble.
and so Dad whooped his ass. Then we can't make him stop.
Yeah, but you know, there's a cool thing about it is like he's still Chavo, right? Chavo, and everybody's probably will agree to Chavo's gonna be Chavo till the day he's died. He won't say shit. He'll joke around until you actually piss him off. You know,
Yeah.
if you stir the right pot, he'll say something.
AKA the night at Austin.
But he's
yes.
more of, for lack of better words, he's more like dad. Right?
You know, if you
Do you
ask me-
believe that?
If you ask me about that, you know, we all have something different to.
It's how you view it.
To put into the
You asked for
family,
my perspective.
to put into the
Y
family.
luego.
Go.
That thing, you're cutting him off.
But that's the cool thing about him, though, is that he, you know, and I guess I don't know about you, but me personally, I know that if I ever want to do something like this podcast, I can go to him and he's like, "Let's do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to him, he was like,
Go push it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was an idea, and he was like, let's do it. All right, cool. You know, if you say let's do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we figured it out.
Let's do it.
And some people may like it, some people may not. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you Nike.
you know, the cool thing about it is that
just do
I
it,
know
just do
there's conversations going that people don't want to say about, but
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
Because everybody's sensitive right now.
And that's my perspective right there.
That's good. Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Nah, I can't. It's just expensive.
That's really good. Y'all have really good perspectives.
So I guess it kind of seems like everybody's running out of ideas or thoughts.
No,
But what are some maybe final thoughts that y'all want to share
before we
individually,
go final thoughts, my perspective is
Christian never has the final thought.
I thought you had given your
No,
perspective.
like Chavo,
No,
I see
but-
Chavo as the
Man, y'all
mediator.
just so y'all know, y'all
Yeah.
some selfish
Yeah.
asses because y'all didn't even ask me about my perspective.
You did. We were the
Fuckers.
first one to ask
Yeah,
you.
you gave
No,
your
you didn't. No, you did not get my perspective. Okay,
We're gonna have to rewind the video so we can see this.
Okay, what was my perspective?
You went at him
You
first.
told me to go first.
Yeah, but I didn't
Okay,
give you
what-
my
what are your
perspective.
perspectives?
I asked. I initiated the
Share
perspective.
your perspective.
No, wait. A ver,
Could you-
dime. ¿Qué dije?
So okay, I was saying,
No, repeat what I said. Go.
I'm gonna repeat what I said.
No, what I said.
You said no, share your perspective.
Exactly, but did I give you my
Well,
perspective?
no, because
Okay, go.
you passed it on to me.
Yeah, go.
Exactly, but y'all didn't come back to me,
Look,
you
I
assholes.
gave you the
This is what life is
Christian-
with three fucking
Because
Mexicans. that have
Christian was
food.
gonna give it, and then it was your turn, and then you cut Christian off.
Go. You go. Give everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Cut her off.
Go. Give us your perspective.
Drop some knowledge from a female perspective.
I
Drop some fucking knowledge from a female perspective.
mean, I
Para eso querías, no para
Let the people know. Say it.
I mean, my perspective about y'all. That you're supposed to be having your face.
No te lo vas a comer su pinche bombón.
Tori was like this.
Ni que fuera un guapo.
Just drop
I mean,
it. Drop
I think
it.
that you
Okay,
guys
let
are.
it be.
Tagnado.
Espérate, let me talk, dude. Or I'll punch you in your face.
Oh damn.
You should have punched that lady and said you're Mexican. Mexican.
Dude,
You
when you're in
speak
that when you're in that situation, by the time you even like that shit kicks in, you're like, oh fuck.
You're like
this shit
home
really
already.
happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go. Tell her.
Drop it.
I think that you
Like
guys
it's
are
hot.
It's like when English says, I think that.
Right? Fucking-
You shout out to my nephew Anthony. You kind of sound like my nephew Anthony right now.
Why? What does he
He's
say?
very expressive. Anthony. You,
Oh
you love
yeah.
Anthony.
No, I'm telling you, what does he say
He's
though?
just very expressive.
Hey, Juanito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a kick. He's a hoot. No, I mean, I just think that all of you guys do great. I think that
I
sometimes
said the same thing, and you gave me shit about it.
you don't even let me finish.
That's just gonna be loud on the mic.
Go ahead.
I just think that you guys are really great. I think that sometimes y'all hold yourselves back, you know, and I think that y'all should be a little bit more open. You know,
Are you talking about the podcast or siblings?
no, sibling wise.
Okay.
You know,
So what do you think about Nato?
what do I think about Nato? Besides the fact that
You're being around the bush.
Yeah, no, he seems like a really hard ass, but I think internally he's very emotional. He's very in tune with his emotions. No, I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying that. If I wanted to say that, I would have said that, but I didn't say that. You know, I just think that
I'm like mom.
I didn't say that either. You know, I think mom, despite the fact that she says she doesn't do it, but she wears her emotions on her sleeve. That's just who she is. Okay. Even though she's like, no, she's a hard ass. Dude, no. Like, if you know mom, she's like, any little thing that you say that's not right, well, dude, waterworks for sure. No doubt, right? But I think that internally, like, all of you guys, including myself, we're very emotional just because that's just the way we are from our parents. We kick ass, we work hard, we push hard, we will break through because that's just who they have raised. But I think internally, you know,
preach.
we are an emotional person inside, but we hide that. We do a damn job of saying, "Hey, you're not gonna come into that. We're not gonna deal with that. What you're seeing out here, that's what you're gonna deal with, and that's it. Nothing else." That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a really good thing.
No.
I believe that's been instilled by our parents.
Yep.
You know,
How we were raised.
Dude, I seriously thought you were gonna give like a 30-second description.
You haven't
Now
even
you've been
told
on
me
there
about
for like
him.
3 minutes.
no, I'm just saying, like, I'm wrapping it all up on
Are
y'all.
you giving a
You
general
give a full
blanket
summary,
statement?
okay.
Yeah, it's a full summary on all three of you guys. No, and then Chago, like, he is an emotional person.
about everybody. Now you're saying
No, I mean, you want me to break it down, but fuck, I already said all of y'all are emotional internally.
No, finish it all like todo junto.
I already did. I already
Because
told you.
a while ago tried to do the same thing and she said, no, you're going to do it individually.
But I'm telling you that all of us are the same. Internally, I think we are all the same. We're so
I'm going to make
emotional.
sure to edit that out from what you said.
Why would you say that?
Like from when you started till now, because that's like 5 minutes. Are you beating around the
Bitch, you
bush?
fucking took. That's not my fault. You didn't take your time to explain everything you want to explain.
Ain't no editing that part out. It's gonna stay in there.
It's staying in there.
I just think internally we all still share the same that emotionally we are all emotional.
Yeah.
We're just very, very, I don't want to say weak, but we are very in tune with that side of us. But externally, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Dick mode, okay mode, I don't give a fuck mode.
What about you? What about you?
I'm just more like, okay, let's go with it. If it's a good laugh, I'm down
Tyler
with
was
it.
more, okay, let's go with it.
I'll tell you this.
Nadie te
You
preguntó.
drive.
Didn't you give your perspective?
I've been having like sharing. I
you
haven't.
got
So-
redirected.
Like you, for example, I see you as the person I can call whenever I have like issues, like internally. Like I need a straight up answer.
Oh, I thought you
know-
meant like cuando te duele la panza o algo así, güey. Like,
Like, you know, I
el
need
intestino.
I need a
A quick direct answer.
quick direct answer. You know, because you're kind of like thinking through. You're more like a mediator. That's how I see you. You know, we need something. We go to you. You're like the I don't give a fuck. Let's do it.
Fuck
Let's
it.
let's go.
Yeah,
He's supportive.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
pretty much. Nato's like, whenever I need to make a hard decision, it's like, Nato, what do you think? It's like, boom, boom. So he's more like you said,
He analyzes everything.
Logical.
a logical
Okay,
answer.
good word.
Cindy's like the one where when I call her, it's like, I got to kind of think of what I'm going to tell her.
Why?
She's the aggressor.
No, that's what I said, because she's like mom in a way. She's like
She's
too
an aggressor.
aggressive. She's
Yeah.
like, you got to kind of like word it out perfectly to
Why?
get what you want, because like right now, I mean, I feel
Because
intimidated.
you're a new overthinker.
I feel intimidated. Like, you know? She's like, why? Like, damn.
Yeah.
You know?
And
And
then
it's like, I feel like we all bring something
best out of each other?
to the table to make this work.
Ni que fuera Thanksgiving, güey.
pues casi. We're like 2 months away,
Thanksgiving at
dude.
your house?
Yes, come on over.
I was gonna do Christmas, but now.
Oh, I was like, I thought y'all. I
I'm
know
doing-
one
I'm doing
holiday y'all
Thanks-
were gonna
I'm
come
doing
over.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, I can't be there Thanksgiving.
I'm doing Thanksgiving. So.
I thought we were gonna do Christmas, cause that's when we will be able to legally adopt.
We usually do Christmas together, but I'll let you figure that out.
Anyways,
No,
huh?
but
And then we're
I'm
saying,
I'm doing Thanksgiving.
right?
So,
Yeah, cool.
so
Mándalo por el WhatsApp, güey.
okay. So back. So it's back
So
to
you
that,
said that
we
I'm
all-
very intimidating.
You're very
not
aggressive.
intimidating.
I'm very aggressive.
You're the type
Like
of,
in a bad way?
No, not in a bad way. You're the type that tell me things how I want to hear them. Otherwise, I'm gonna tear your ass down before I give you my answer. That's how I see it.
Oh, okay.
So you're more like that in between mom and dad type of situation where you get the
Is that why you don't call me to ask for my opinion?
I call you because I like bullshitting with you. You're like my favorite bullshit. Cause
But you
this
don't
is
call
all
me
like
for my
flat.
opinion. Why don't you call me for my opinion?
Be honest with you,
Yes, I'm asking.
I'm afraid of you.
Why?
Because of this, it's like you're freaking intimidating. It's like shit.
I'm not intimidating.
Contrólala, güey. Ya me quieres
Babe,
marear.
babe, am I intimidating? Te estoy viendo. Te estoy viendo.
La tóxica que nada.
La sucia.
I'm not toxic, right?
Just so y'all know, she's looking at Joey right now. So
No, I'm not toxic and I'm not sucia.
no, it's just you're literally a smaller reflection of mom in the sense that you're very blunt.
Is that bad?
No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
No, you ask for perspective.
Okay,
giving you
I'm asking.
perspective.
Yo said toxic.
He loves Toxica anyways.
I mean, he's with you for a reason.
exactly.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
I
ain't getting
know.
in that shit. So
No, but it's that, you know, we all do something different.
We
all,
do.
You know,
We all do everything different.
I guess if we all did shit the same,
same.
it would be awkward. You know?
Boring.
I feel like that's when problems happen.
And it's like tell my wife, you know, I'd rather be the and I'll put it, the dumb one that's always stupid shit, you know, always is gonna say stupid shit no matter what it is. I'm gonna make a joke out of it. Mm-hmm. But it's like I tell my wife, it's like I'd rather be the fun, the other dual and not, you know, even though sometimes mom's like, cállate, whatever. It's like, you know, it's like when people ask me how'd you mean
you
well.
you trying to set new standards,
Well,
break
it's
the
like when I
barrier,
meet
you know.
when people say, well, how'd you meet well? I was like, well, I mean, when I met her, it's like I talked to her and everything. Like first thing got me was her eyes. That's her eyes were, and then she turns like, dude, so it's cool to us to the meal, you know. So, but it's shit like that, you know. It's like,
But yeah, that's just who you are, though.
Yeah,
right?
I mean-
Well, for people who don't know you, they'll be like, "Damn, that dude's a sucio." But that's just Christian.
Cochinón,
Christian's just Christian, right? Christian says dumb shit where you're like, "Dude, we're talking serious." It's like,
it's
oh.
like, and people
Well,
don't
fuck,
know.
I'm
You can
still
never
gonna
be
say it.
serious
Yeah,
about
man.
it.
People's like, when are you serious? Like, well, I can be serious, you know.
Yeah.
I try. At work, I can be serious because that's different. But I feel like around my family, I can be who I want to be.
Which you should be.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it, right?
We like it though.
Yes.
We may not say it, but we do.
We may not say it.
I just kind of feel like Chao needs to talk a little bit more.
I think Chao should close it off.
A ver,
Se hizo fool.
What a perfect way to end it.
You're
It
a
is.
fool.
ándale,
What?
close it off.
Y'all come back for next week.